see a game last night, Dan?
I was locked in on Cubs-Rockies. The Cubs scoring late, but then the Rockies 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th to win 3-2.
So disappointed in you. If there was ever a time for your baseball score update gag on social media, it was last night.
I haven't put anything on Twitter in I don't know how long.
I know. I figured you lost your credentials.
No, I just haven't had any desire to go into what has become a cesspool. But that would have been a good time to put the joke up at the end of that game. What is the game that I would have chosen? Athletics Brewers? Like what?
I was dialed into Astros A's. Can you believe they blew that game?
Astros. I thought that was Astros Anaheim.
Angels. I'm sorry.
You were locked into.
I was so dialed.
Yes, don't sweat it.
He was
Completely
exhausted last night. He
Yeah.
went 2 for 2 from the field.
Yeah, Brian Mitchell Robinson.
So you played. Oh, Tony, you played. You guys played together last night.
I didn't play last night. I was obviously watching the game very astutely, but Mike went and played, and I actually got the text from my guy who invites us over to play. He's like, "Hey, 7:30," and I look at the time; it's 7:29. I'm like, "Yeah, an hour ago would have been great if you would have told me."
I am always a little worried by intramural role player who takes his role playing seriously. That guy is someone I'm scared
thank
of.
you.
Mike
You
Ryan.
should be.
Mike Ryan wants offensive rebounds. He wants to make sure to set good picks. That guy is not someone I ever want to be playing with or even have on my team.
You
honestly.
set screens in pickup?
Of course.
What a
Rabid dog.
What a dick.
What do you mean? You got to open up the shooters. You got to also seal the baseline. But this game was a lot tougher for me, Dan. A lot tougher for me to get the boards. You know why? Black guys.
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Le Batard Show. Do you allow picks in your pickup basketball?
Are we playing basketball or not playing basketball? I don't get it. So what do you want to do? Just run around? Sounds like you're 3 years old.
I thought the poll was going to be, do black guys make it harder to get boards?
They're tall.
Zaz, you're objecting to the idea of plays in pickup basketball and a role player who is setting a pick to help a teammate.
Like, Mike, if someone's hot in the pickup game, you're on defense. If someone's hot in the pickup game, do you double?
Oh, it's not a double.
No, it's not a double, but
Okay.
it's
Grow up.
like
All right.
communicate. I'll pick him up. You stay on ball. You stay on ball.
Okay.
Sometimes we'll both collapse. Close out on the shooter.
But where's the line, though? Zaz is asking a good question on where the tipping point is on this, because if he's conceding to you, okay, I'll allow that you can do some picks in a pickup basketball game, but then you guys are saying the next step on that, which is doubling the hot guy, is a bridge too far?
There's no zone. There's no doubling. There's no box and one. There's no trap at the half court. Like, all that stuff doesn't exist. If you don't play basketball, you think of those things. Obviously, Zaz thinks of those things. Doesn't play basketball in 25 years, probably.
Yeah, this must be what it's like for Sean Payton at a presser when like some idiot media member.
Yeah, I'm
like,
gonna
trying
double.
to, like,
Yeah, I'm gonna double him. Yeah.
Why didn't you throw it on third down? Like, man, you don't play the game.
Why would a bridge be too far?
I would assume that as a marching army tries to strategically get from place to place, there's a bridge that's too far.
Kind of like the Key West Bridge.
Yeah,
It's too long.
well,
It's too long.
yeah.
Oh, that's too.
Remember
okay.
when James Cameron blew up the old one? That was awesome.
That was that Schwarzenegger
Yeah, it was
and Jamie
True
Lee
Lies.
Curtis?
Ball is back, Jack. The beautiful game is on a roll, and we'll have an eye on every goal, shouting magisterial. No need to back down. Just park the bus, stop the attack. Will the hand of God put your header back on track? Football is back, Jack. Mbappe's flying through the air. Ronaldo's here for one last prayer. Will Messi come out to play? Or is it victory for the USA? It's corner kicks when the box is packed. That's how you know that football is back, Jack. Let me hear you say. Football is back, Jack. The time is here. yell, let's go States. No need to back down. Just strike the ball, start the attack. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Football is back, Jack. Football is back, Jack. Football is back. Football is back, Jack.
WFAT. Holy shit, what a comeback. The San Francisco Giants are down 8, headed into the bottom of the 8th. And they win the game with 5 in the 8th and 5 in the 9th. Wow is correct, Roy. And if your microphone is on, the audience would have heard it.
Wow.
Now it heard it too long and too loud because you've got the audio levels wrong.
Wow.
A wow too far. In the last half of the 9th, Zaz, 2 Nationals pitchers threw 21 pitches and allowed 5 runs, 4 hits, and a walk, and got no outs.
That's where you get screwed by the 3-batter rule.
What is the 3-batter rule?
He's right.
You probably wanted to take one of those relievers out, but you can't because you got to leave him for 3 batters. 3-batter rule.
That's a thing now?
Yeah.
How about that?
It's been like 2 years.
A couple of years.
Oh, I'm sorry. You watch baseball. Good for you. Jerk.
Mike Wilbon
Sorry.
was just on television saying, and this is a lot of experience that man has, Mike Wilbon is saying that that's the most shocking result that he's ever seen covering basketball. And he's not prone to overreaction and hyperventilation. He usually does perspective. And I think even allowing for the idea that that comeback is more probable in today's game than it's ever been, it is jaw-dropping stunning to see the Spurs go from scoring the most points in a first half a road team ever has in the finals, 76, to ending up at the end of the game with 106. To have the first half go better for the Spurs the way that it did, in a way that made it seem like that game was going to be easy to win, and to have the Knicks have a better second half statistically than the Spurs had in the first half was stunning, Zaz. Just truly epically stunning. Knicks fans will never feel anything like what this series feels like the remainder of their life after seeing a bunch of playoff games that weren't any good at the end and a whole regular season that didn't have a lot of close games at the end and was filled with blowouts. Every one of these games has been decided in the last few minutes, and this one more improbably than you will ever see at the end of a basketball game. Plenty to dissect in all of the wreckage. But I do want to celebrate the Knicks more than killing the Spurs, because I do think everyone's going to be killing the Spurs, killing the Spurs, killing the Spurs. If the Knicks thought they were going to win that game when they were down 29, they're the only people on the earth who thought they were going to win that game.
Last night was such a great example of everything that I love about sports. And it doesn't even matter that it's the Knicks, and obviously the Knicks get no love in the Zaslow Mansion. But there were so many people, obviously everyone who was in the building, but just Knicks fans, friends of mine who are Knicks fans. You had one of the greatest moments of your life last night, and these people are so happy. And it reminded me of how I felt like 2 and really 3 years ago, even when the Panthers fell short in the Stanley Cup final, when they didn't even win that series, just how I felt throughout that run. The Knicks fan is experiencing that emotion that most of them have never, ever had because it's been over 50 years. I felt really good for those fans last night. It was So cool.
Very few fan bases ever have had what this one now does, where you have the confidence that you can come back from 29 down because you just did it to Cleveland a series ago when you were down 22. So at this point, I'm not actually sure how many people are leaving that building in the second half, when in a lot of previous history, you would leave at halftime. You can't with the way those tickets are that expensive.
Dan, you know what else I've never seen before? We're like 15 minutes after the game ended last night. It looked like no one left. They were all still there. The court was packed. It's like they stormed the court. And all the fans were still in the building. They're playing music. The fans are dancing and singing. I've never seen that before.
Sorry, I'm watching Spanish television this morning. It's so good. Just what an atmosphere. What outfits.
Was Tracy Morgan crying last night? Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show, Juju. Was it really strange seeing Larry David happy? Because I didn't know what to do with his happiness. He was courtside next to John McEnroe. A lot of people, if they are turning on Knicks fandom, they're turning on the celebrities. Like they don't like to see the Hollywood elite that kind of happy.
Oh, but you know what? I think there was a massive difference. Like everything that we wanted, if you're a unbiased fan, you're into, what's going on, it's going to be a scene. Everything that we wanted to see in Game 3 from that atmosphere at the Garden, we got in Game 4 because as it turned out, all the celebrities who were there in Game 3, so many Fugazi fans who were there as far as the celebrities. Last night felt like the real celebrity fans. Larry David and McEnroe and Mariska Hargitay and Tracy Morgan and the Chalamet and Stiller.
Seinfeld.
It felt like those were the real celebrity fans. It felt totally organic and real last night.
We came very close to the amazing blessing of having all of those people spend all of that money on tickets and leave with just two enormous heartbreakers of basketball games. It has been a great series.
It's a classic.
Well, I just don't know which one's better, the hockey or the basketball, like in terms of where it is we are on both of them. I'd also ask you, is the difference so far in that series a potential Alvarado backcourt violation?
Not a backcourt, completely clean.
I said potential. De'Aaron Fox did a million things wrong at the end of that game.
Oh, my God.
One of them was fouling that immediately when Alvarado was in real trouble as he was about to fall over the half-court line.
I get wanting to tout the fighting spirit of the New York Knicks. They put themselves in position to win that game. They did not give up. I understand why you want to celebrate them. You're a huge Knicks fan. This is about the Spurs choking in epic fashion.
Also, the Spurs lost. The Knicks didn't win.
We're going to have that discussion a little bit. But look, I'm not used to these games when you get to this far in the season having teams execute so poorly. And I'm saying that, too, of the team that came back from 29 down. Like Josh Hart. Put a Lobo Mint under your pillow and dream big. You got let off the hook. You made 2 all-time gaffes in that one potentially. The almost backcourt, the missed layup when he was caught in between the dunk, the turnovers. New York
not boxing out Steph Castle when he got the rebound and put that up.
They did a lot of stuff down the stretch that isn't necessarily championship execution, but De'Aaron Fox made an all-time blunder.
Multiple.
Yeah, but the one at the end. After he makes a big play, and again, championship-level execution from the New York Knicks, turnover, pick 6 the other way if you're playing in the first quarter. But in that situation, the time is way more valuable than making it still a one-possession game.
But let's examine some of this for a second. Put it on the poll, collapse or comeback. At Le Batard Show, collapse or comeback. But also, before I get into the minutia of this, because there's a lot of good minutia here, including I think De'Aaron Fox acquired 4, stable at the end, making 3 mistakes in the last 12 seconds. The Alvarado one being the least bad of the 3 mistakes. Let's play the sound, though, of Charles Barkley speaking for a whole lot of people here.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow.
We saw they had a 25-point lead, took eight straight threes. Like, they thought to get, like, that was some of the most mismanaged, stupid basketball. Hey, when you blow a 29-point lead, the other team has to help you. The San Antonio Spurs help the New York Knicks win this game by doing some of the stupid-ass stuff I've ever seen on a basketball court.
So that's harsh analysis, and I don't know that it's inaccurate, but he speaks for a lot of people after you watch the Spurs after the Wemby flagrant, and if he gets one more, it's an automatic suspension. 6 for 35. They go 6 for 35 and 2 for 15 from 3. It was indeed a meltdown. I find fairly stunning what I'm about to say to you, which is Brunson in half his Knicks playoff games has scored 30-plus. Last night, between him and Anunoby, they scored 69. The rest of the Knicks scored under 40. All of them. The Knicks bench, Alvarado made more shots the last 9 minutes than all of the Spurs did.
Towns attempted 5 shots.
The bench, well, what happened the first minute of that game was crazy in terms of, well, but if you've paid tickets for that, and that game keeps going that way where they take Towns from you when clearly from the beginning the Knicks were going to work the whole offense through Towns, and he gets 2 fouls in 1 minute and the Spurs have to use one of their challenges in the first minute of the game. I thought all of that was enormous until it wasn't.
I mean, yeah, it was enormous, but that was Towns also doing the thing where this has been a lot of his career where he plays dumb. Those were fouls.
Zaz.
You can't behave that way. And
Zaz.
He's hooking Wembanyama's arm early in the quarter when he already has a foul. And then his third foul is a clear push in the back. He was playing dumb.
This is sometimes where the challenge pisses me off because it's like, all right, we're challenging the foul on Wemby, but hold on, we're going to give a foul to Cat because we saw him do something earlier in the play before the foul was called. Like, that's BS.
When Zaz's analysis is that's dumb from Wemby and Barkley's analysis is but the other guys were the dumbest team in the history of basketball civilization, you have some things happening in a game that are uncommon.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization. Oh, wow.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. That's what an oh wow sounds when it's sounds like when it's at the microphone. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Would Popovich have been worth 1 point last night? Yes or no?
Oh wow.
Would Greg Popovich have been worth 1 point? And let's see if we can hear Mitch Johnson talking after the game because the crowd noise around it makes it hard to hear the Spurs coach who's supposed to be in a bit of a hermetically sealed cinder block sort of environment where people can, in the media who are partnered with these leagues, can get the sound they need from the people involved in the combat.
Okay, front row, all the way to the right, Tom.
Mitch, Tom Orsborn and San Antonio Express News. The 30 points in the second half, what went wrong offensively in your mind?
I mean, obviously a few things to score 30 points in a half. We got away from what got us the 76 points in the first half, just in terms of putting pressure on the rim, rolling after screens, running, continuing to find the paint, whether it's for ourselves or for a teammate. We got on our heels and, miss some shots, and then, you don't get as many free throws and high percentage looks.
Oh, wow.
That was great.
It sounded like a laugh track in the background. They kept, putting up and down.
You heard the, hey, if like the scene in Elf when he's doing, the dances.
Credit to him. I would have got up and left.
Are you guys sure, though, that sounded all happy to you? Because I think in another context, this might be in the realm of what it is Jets fans were doing to Tim Tebow, where, to me, the way it sounds like, it could sound like Mitch Johnson has just descended into hell, and that's the sound that you hear in hell.
Tebow, save us!
Either New York fans happy is the sound you hear in hell, or New York fans sounding happy is hell for everybody, and so I'm interpreting it that way, because a lot of people will tell you these are the worst fans in the world.
Not a good series for Mitch Johnson. Not a good series.
Really?
And the final 2 plays of the game, I think, kind of encapsulate Mitch Johnson in this series so far, where the final play that Anunoby gets the tip, Mitch Johnson decides we're not going to guard the inbounds pass. We're not going to guard the inbounds pass, and it allows Anunoby to essentially have a free run to the basket where De'Aaron Fox went 3 for 3 in those final possessions there, where he also then he decides to stand around and not even block out Anunoby. But Mitch Johnson chose not to guard the inbounds pass, and the inbounder got the winning basket. And then the very next play, Mike Brown says, we're going to guard the inbounds pass. And the play that they drew up was perfect. Dylan Harper, I think it was Harper. Castle was going to have a wide open layup on the last play of the game, and Harper's pass got deflected by the inbounds defender, Karl Anthony Towns.
Even at the littlest, smallest leagues and levels, they always tell you the inbounder's one of the most dangerous guys on the court because you turn your back and he's at the hoop scoring a layup, getting an open shot, and he had a 45-foot runway to just fly like
he looked like Superman.
He looked like Michael Jordan in Space Jam. All of a sudden, his arm kept going up.
Bad series for me.
And then to have the touch of just like touching the ball and it going in.
Okay, so you guys say bad series for Mitch Johnson, and I continue to tell you guys that sometimes the coach is the guy on the sideline is the one that we're going to concentrate on, but the execution is what ends up mattering. So a couple of games ago, I was telling you that Mike Brown got exactly the matchup he wanted, and Mitch Johnson got exactly the one he didn't want when it's De'Aaron Fox against Anunoby. You've got your weakest offensive player who's on the court kind of hurt going up against their best defensive player. And by the way, Anunoby has been exceptional for them for years now. There was a time that this organization was thinking, should we go Hartenstein or should we go Anunoby on who we're resigning here? And they let Hartenstein go, and they made sure that Anunoby was locked up. And that guy for them this season has been an all-star and keeps putting up these 30-point games where I didn't think that was something. Efficient 30-point games is not something that I was going to see consistently from Anunoby early in his career.
Not only consistent and most efficient, it's the most efficient game in a finals game ever, I think. He shot 58 from the floor, 56 from 3, and 92 from the free throw line. It's like one of the most incredible games.
One of his missed shots is the one at the end of the quarter that he lobbed 3/4 of the court
hit the
front of the rim. Like that, it's lunacy the way that guy's accuracy from distance. I do not consider him a great three-point shooter. He's fine, but I don't consider him a great three-point shooter. I'm going to say again what the Knicks got from their bench last night. Other than Alvarado, it was 2 baskets. 2. Alvarado ends up scoring more in the last 9 minutes than the Spurs did because of how epic the collapse was. But let's play the sound, please, because I want to compare these sounds. It's a happier New York feeling around Mitch Johnson. But let's go back to halftime of the butt fumble game where the Jets are running back into the locker room, and what you hear around the tunnel is this. This has not been altered in any way. Tebow Save Us is actually something I'd expect to hear in hell if somebody was trying to escape. If a Jets fan was wearing a Jets jersey in hell, wailing and gnashing, Tebow Save Us. Let's hear the sound, though, around Mitch Johnson. And while it's happier, I still think this is just hell after the Knicks have won.
Okay, front row, all the way to the right, Tom.
Mitch, Tom Orsborn and San Antonio Express News. The 30 points in the second half, what went wrong offensively in your mind?
I mean, obviously a few things to score 30 points in a half. We got away from what got us the 76 points in the first half, just in terms of putting pressure on the rim, rolling after screens, running, continuing to find the paint, whether it's for ourselves or for a teammate. We got on our heels and, miss some shots, and then, you don't get as many free throws and high percentage looks.
Seemed pretty joyous. Seemed pretty joyous.
I want to go back to Anunoby for a second, and if we could hear OG Anunoby after the game when he's asked about the final play and how he feels going into the next game.
You just hit the game-winning shot in an NBA Finals game in front of your home crowd. How does that feel?
It feels cool. I mean, everyone's pretty excited. I'm excited too. I'm excited too. We're all excited. We're enjoying it right now, but we're just focused on the next game now.
I'll never forget, he was on the Raptors. Either he was a rookie or it was his second year when the Raptors won the championship in 2019. And there was one game where he hit a monster three late in the game, which won the Raptors that game. And someone asked him, like, how do you stay so calm and cool there? And he was just like, that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. And that's how he is every game.
He's cool. He's stoic.
Yeah.
Brunson has some of this. I will say, again, I noticed this again last night. I don't know if anyone cares. So often we are discussing and dissecting under a microscope some of the minutia here around these teams. As soon as that game ended, on the court still, while the fans are going crazy and it's a crushing, historic loss for the Spurs, Wemby on the court is immediately going and applauding with De'Aaron Fox, telling him it's okay, we still are good. It's just an unusual reaction to have in that moment when your entire reason for working in sports has just come crashing down at your feet in the way that is nationally and internationally embarrassing. And it makes Charles Barkley say this after the game, echoing afterward.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow. I mean, that last sequence, man, like Fox missing the layup.
Wemby missing the 2 free throws with a minute 47 left was ecstasy.
What do you think he was doing with his head? Was he saying, like, settle down, or was he doing I'm in your head?
Oh, he was absolutely doing I'm in your head.
Yeah, and then he missed 2 free throws?
I felt like Dylan Brooks on the sidelines. I was just watching like,
tough.
Well, that was the first quarter where Wemby's pointing to his head, telling Mitchell Robinson, I'm in your head, and then Mitchell Robinson gets the flagrant for putting an elbow in Wemby's neck. Let me get to a couple of the things here, though, at the end of the game that I found most interesting because everyone's going to be talking about De'Aaron Fox on the offensive end because, of course, you need to pull that ball out and kill time and dribble and get your free throws and not have happen what happened. If you have the ball in that situation up 1 with 10 seconds left, everyone knows you just hold on to the ball. You don't do anything.
Everyone knows that?
De'Aaron Fox, even after the game, didn't think he had done something wrong, but I want to go to one of the other mistakes because I don't know if people sort of were paying attention to this part. As good as Brunson was in that game, and that was his best game of the series, he had, at the end, one shot where he just hits the backboard, where he's driving and he just hits the backboard.
Clock was running down, yeah.
Yeah, the clock was running down, and there was another, the other shot he took. I don't think that's a good shot, but it's Brunson. It's your team. I will live and die with whatever Brunson does if I'm the Knicks. I don't think it was a great shot from the distance, but the thing that I wanted to say about what happened there is when he releases the ball, Brunson is the only one who's further from the basket than Anunoby. You cannot let him come from further away than anybody on the court other than Brunson to get in clean, and that was De'Aaron Fox's fault.
He just stood there.
So you've got the guy that they acquired for these situations to be a veteran sort of stabilization force doing 3 things in the last 12 seconds, as like 3 things in the last 12 seconds when you're like, De'Aaron Fox, what are you doing? And so much of the commentary after the game, immediately after the game, was people who had been watching basketball all their lives, Wilbon, Barkley, Ernie Johnson. What the hell just happened was the verbal response from these people.
Why, if you're De'Aaron Fox, they're not guarding the inbounds pass? And so, okay, it's because you want to deny the inbounds. You want to, try and keep the ball from actually being inbounded to Jalen Brunson. But once the ball is inbounded to Jalen Brunson, why are you helping Wemby defensively?
Especially when you left so much time on the clock.
But I'll tell you, that shot, I know you're saying you don't like that shot by Brunson there. That was a fantastically high IQ play from Jalen Brunson for 2 reasons. The first one is Wembanyama is guarding him, and he is so far from the basket. So he's keeping Wembanyama from being able to get a defensive rebound, and by taking the shot that early, you're allowing a potential tip-in. Like, it was an incredibly high IQ play from Jalen Brunson.
Shouldn't have had that much time. And it's on De'Aaron Fox. And Dan said, like, everyone in basketball knows what to do in that situation. Not if you were watching the broadcast. The broadcast didn't mention what a gaffe that was. That is an all-time sports blunder. And if you were watching the broadcast, you would never know it. It was a huge botch by that team.
It wasn't great, but you're talking about 3 seconds, 4 seconds?
Yes, and that's the game. That's the game. Because
Brunson got the shot off with 6 seconds left.
That ball went in at 1
Well, you don't get the tip in.
That ball went in under 2 seconds. That game is over.
Remember,
that game is over.
That block,
and maybe he makes both free throws, and it's a 3-point game.
Okay, but here's the thing. You're talking about an amount of time that is not super significant, because when that ball gets brought up the other way, Alvarado has to go, almost have a backcourt, and then he fouls him, right? Like, there's a span of time, there are 4 or 5 seconds
He's
that wouldn't have happened.
tight-roping the middle of the court, and Fox doesn't even bother to try and trap. It's like, here, let me take the foul. It was you had one player in the Knicks that was playing with a high IQ, and you had the other player with the Spurs, both of them veterans, who were playing very low IQ.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow. Think about one of the things that we're talking about here, because I do want to examine what Zaslow is saying there about Brunson's high IQ play, because I will live and die with whatever it is Brunson's doing, but that shot from that distance is not a great shot.
He wouldn't have taken it if Wembanyama wasn't guarding him, I don't believe. Okay. You have him so far from the hoop.
But one of the things that was happening at the end of the game is the acquisitions that these teams made for this situation were on display, where it's De'Aaron Fox against Alvarado. They traded for Alvarado during the season. Alvarado was being trusted there because Shamet has gone cold and is still getting some of the minutes, but they're trusting Alvarado in that situation. And so you've got a situation with 5 seconds left in a game, Zaz, where it's not Brunson with the ball. It's not Towns with the ball. It's at half court somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience in the finals falling over the line with De'Aaron Fox guarding him. And I just want to go through with you guys some of the numbers here, even though I know that numbers talk is usually something that people tune out on, because I just think some of the numbers here are super interesting. So teams down 20-plus points the last 2 years in the postseason. The Knicks are 5-3 the last 2 years in that spot. The rest of the league is 4-71.
Oh, wow.
And the half, the Knicks had made 15 shots and the Spurs had made 14 threes.
Oh, wow.
So you had the Spurs basically starting as hot as is possible for a team. And then there's this stat. Before last night, when teams are down 20 plus in the fourth quarter, they were 4-750.
Oh, wow.
So this goes in the all-time bucket where you have some all-time things. And Mike's right when he says, and I'm curious because the announcers can always make this stuff worse. And I don't think De'Aaron Fox's move is going to be considered an all-time blunder because the announcing team didn't react to it as if it was an all-time blunder. Usually the audience needs a little bit of permission to rally en masse, and the announcers will help you with that. That was not the case last night, and I thought it was weird that they were a bit muted about all of that.
Did they get swept away in the emotion of that building?
I think so.
Did they not realize that De'Aaron Fox was in a rush to make it still a one-possession game? What was your reaction? Granted, that place seemed nuts. It seemed like an insane asylum. I get not being like fully clear. But in my house, I was by myself screaming, "What are you doing?" I don't know if you guys reacted the exact same way. It felt dumb from the jump, run to the corner.
My reaction, that's it. My reaction was that as soon as he's on the fast break on the left part of the lane, I expected him to go toward the basket and then veer off into the corner and loop back around like every other NBA player in that situation knows to do, because you don't risk losing the ball. And specifically, right, this part is all like, okay, maybe if it's Brunson, but not if it's that guy. Like, Anunoby is their best defender. Like, that guy's locked down, and that's not the guy I'm going after.
I actually didn't say anything while it was unfolding because my wife was sleeping right next to me, and I'm watching the tablet. It's on my stomach. I didn't want to wake her.
So you're kind of like a mime. You're like,
yeah. And my son, my 14-year-old son, watching in his bedroom down the hall, he's screaming, as the ball is into the background. I'm trying to be really quiet.
Why aren't you watching it, like, with him? Why are you in bed watching it on mute?
You know what happened? I had a very big day yesterday. I had a great day. I had a very emotionally draining day yesterday. Dan, I saw He-Man.
Oh, wow.
And so by the time the game's on, I'm emotionally drained, okay? And at halftime, I almost shut the game off at halftime. Like, the Knicks weren't coming back. It was a terrible game.
Everyone I was at bowling with, we agreed. We're just going home.
Yeah.
This game's over. We don't need to go watch it anywhere.
Terrible game. So at halftime, like, we all dispersed. Me, my son, I got my cousin who's staying with us as well. We all dispersed to our separate bedrooms. Like, all right, I'm going to go watch upstairs, And that's why it went down like that, because the game was bad.
Yesterday on the show, I was laughing with you guys because I'm always laughing at everyone's perpetual need to declare a series over before it's over.
Series is over. Knicks.
How many times in that game did you say series is over? Spurs got this.
I text my other son who is in New York right now. I just text him, yo, Knicks are fucked. They came back and won.
Yeah, Barkley at the end, or at the half of Game 3 said this series was over. But I wanted to ask you about the analysis from Draymond Green after the game, where he said, and this is a sentence that legitimately came out of his mouth, once the Knicks got it down to 12, it's a wrap. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
It's an arbitrary number. They didn't go single digits there. 10 even.
Everyone knows 12, dangerous lead.
In the stands, you're like, don't let us get this down to 10. Yeah, 10 is the magic number. If we can be within 10 with 6 minutes left, 12 though.
I originally thought that the Draymond Green audition was going to be sort of an internship to replace Charles Barkley, and I think he's exposed himself over this time where it's like, I don't really want to hear from you on some of this stuff. You're knee-jerk, and it doesn't have perspective. I also felt, and put this on the poll as well, at Le Batard Show, did Charles Barkley have the Spurs on the money line last night? Because that commentary is the commentary of someone who is emotionally lost a giant bet that they didn't expect to lose and is mad at a team and just calls them, you dumb dummies.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow. You dumb dummies, you stupid ass. You dumb dummies, you stupid ass was Charles Barkley's analysis, and I'm saying it's leagues better than Draymond Green's analysis, which was as soon as the Knicks got it down to 12, it was a wrap.
Don't want to be a hipster about these things. Swept away in it. It's a 90s-ass series. I like it. I'm just really thrown by the lack of execution from both teams in an NBA Finals. Like we went from Spo and Pop to Mike Brown and Mitch Johnson and people not knowing basic basketball 101 level execution. It's no wonder that these teams winning these titles just go fade into the background now, because I look at that like Wemby's going to be in the conversation as long as he's tall and healthy. But New York, you better win this.
He'll probably stay tall, right?
Yeah, probably. But I don't know if these teams have staying power. I don't know if anybody has staying power. These teams aren't out executing anybody else. They're getting hot at the right time. It's just weird to see basketball played kind of this dumb, as Charles Barkley described it, in the NBA Finals.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow. This part has been great, though. Not much difference between those teams, and all the games tight late is crazy. Like this is not what OKC was doing last year, where they were just running roughshod over everybody. You have our undivided attention because everything here is late, everything here is interesting, everything here is close, and we know that there's not much difference between these two teams. I'm not sure how surprised anybody would be, given how the Spurs look in every first quarter, if the Spurs won the next 3 games, or if the Spurs took it to 7 and then lost in game 7 at home, because I'm pretty sure these teams are evenly matched. Like whatever the differences are between them, in 3 of the games you have a bounce go differently, literally a bounce go differently, and you've got the Spurs up 3-1.
I'm off the pulpit though. Happy June. This is unreal. Every night there's a banger. NHL, NBA. Oh, for good measure, we're throwing in the best sporting international competition in our nation. We're just going to drop that in the middle of this. And also the Heat might get Giannis.
Tony, you know about that Stanley Cup final tonight?
Nah, what's going on?
Oh, good series.
You're trying to tell me that that's better than what's happening in the NBA Finals? You're crazy. You're a nuts, man.
We're going to talk about the World Cup and Giannis, but when Mike says something being dropped in, I don't know if you guys saw this dropped in after the last 20-plus years of basketball. Middle of the finals, middle of the epic everything, LeBron's on his podcast saying, well, I don't take a backseat to anyone in the GOAT conversation. Like, don't forget, hey, you guys don't forget, I've been here for 20 years. I used to play in these games.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow.
Coming up on Mystery Crate today, we are tiering Steven Spielberg movies. We are all getting assigned a World Cup team to do book report on.
Do we have to do the book report?
I don't think so.
I thought we were just going to watch the team.
How about we just do like one fun fact?
Okay, well, I like that. One fun fact.
But it better be fun, though. If you're going to play fun fact, you better come with a fun fact. Anyways, we got a lot coming up here today. Rose is doing her thing. Zaz has got an old-ass story. And Tony, we're just mystery creating the shit out of this episode. So you better check it out.
A Miami commissioner is weaponizing government against me. The future of the Port of Miami, which is Florida's 5th biggest economic driver, is in jeopardy thanks to the incompetence of Miami-Dade government. Or is it actually a long con? Plus, another episode in the never-ending series of Florida Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. All new because Miami.
Revealed this to me, and Roy, I don't know the context of what it is that you guys were talking about that revealed this about Chris Cote.
Yeah, Chris asked me what the sound from the first down for the Dolphins games were. And I said
it's just a noise I've made throughout my entire life. It's just like I just did it. Hoo-wah!
Yeah.
And to me, that's another Miami Dolphins first down.
Well, let's find out. Let's find out if your dad knows, because he's not a real moviegoer. Instead of impersonating the sound, do you have the actual sound? Greg Cote, do you know who's making this sound?
Hoo-ah!
I do.
Clark Gable.
Come on.
It's the famous actor.
Rock Hudson.
Oh, this is great. He doesn't know it.
No, it's the famous actor. And I got to pin his name down because I don't think
you should be able to say this immediately.
I don't think it's Robert De Niro.
No.
But I think it's
in the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood. Give me a second. Robert De Niro.
Humphrey
Al Pacino.
Hey, there you go.
If someone said that in his headphones, you're fired.
Now,
No,
what
nobody
movie?
said
What
that.
movie?
It's APEC. What movie?
Streetcar Named Desire.
You ain't you. No. You're not man enough to know the truth. Something like
No.
That's a few good men, and that's a few good men.
Good answer. Good answer.
You're not man enough to know the truth.
You can't handle the truth.
Don't know.
It's a different movie. Pacino was not in
You're
it.
not man enough to know the truth.
That was originally a line. Nicholson ad-lib.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Was Pacino in A Few Good Men? Was a blind Pacino?
Okay, who did he say? Who said hoo-ah in what movie?
Let's keep going. Let's see how long it takes you to get.
Play it again.
I think did he win an Oscar? I think he won an Oscar for this.
Yes. Bull Durham.
No.
Good answer.
Put it on the
Raging
poll.
Bull. Raging
Put it on
Bull.
the poll.
No! It's a bull movie.
Just naming De Niro movies.
Red Bull. I don't know.
Put it on the poll. Was a blind Pacino in Bull Durham?
Chicago Bull.
And put it on the poll as well. Was a blind Pacino in Raging Bull? First of all, it's a really random thing to have stick in Dolphins.
I say it all the time.
No, but it's been for 30 years. That movie's 30 years old. I don't want to tell him what the movie is. Keep guessing, Greg. Keep trying to guess what the Al Pacino movie. How many Oscars has Pacino won? Because he
A Few Good Men.
You already guessed that, and we already told you that it's not A Few Good Men.
Okay.
And you're not man enough to handle the truth.
Right. Okay.
Classic line.
It's got a military theme to it. I just can't come up with a name.
It's not a military theme, but.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Now, I thought, Zaslow, that I had a good ticket guy who could get me good tickets to just about anything. But David Sampson has a ticket guy that is vastly, vastly better than my ticket guy. David Sampson seems to be able to get tickets to every single thing. And he had last night. How many rows in to that arena were you? Like, you were behind the Spurs bench, and how many rows back were you last night, David? In one of the toughest tickets in the history of New York sports, or sports anywhere, anytime, any part of the world?
4 rows back, Dan, and the incline is not nearly enough for a 65-incher, so I was standing more than I would have liked, and at the end of the game, I was standing on my chair.
I thought of this when I thought of you having good seats. You having good seats behind the Spurs bench was like me having good seats at a heavyweight fight one time, and then Shaq came and took his seat in front of me, and I was like, there go my good seats. I can't. All I'm looking at is his back. You behind a basketball team, 4 rows deep is not quite deep enough. You needed to go 8 or 10 rows deep, did you not?
Yeah, I needed to be incline, but don't worry. I was sitting right behind Chris Mad Dog Russo, and so we got to speak a lot during the game. And right in front of me, sadly, was a person who was in a wheelchair who couldn't stand up during the game. And so I was able to see for the majority of the game facing toward my right, toward the opposite basket, until he left because the game was such a blowout. And then people came to replace him who were not in a wheelchair and very tall and stood up.
Okay, I want to know how this works for you, David, because, I mean, not that I would expect you to be in the first row, like Celebrity Row, but you're going to get really good seats. So when you put in to get these seats, are you saying, hey, I need to be this close to the floor? Like, what were the parameters that you were looking for?
No, I'm not a parameter guy. I actually was in tickets that were given to me by Jeffrey Loria, the former owner of the Marlins, who wanted to get me a distraction and get me into a game because we've been going to Knicks games for 50 years. He was, 33 when the Knicks last won the finals, and we were counting people with Chris Russo who were in the Garden when Willis Reed walked out of the tunnel in Game 7 in 1970. And we were having the conversation with Bill Bradley. How many of us were there? I wasn't one of them. We figured there's maybe 100 people who had lived through this sort of decade-long, half-century-long malaise. And the feeling at the Garden last night, it was not.
100? You think there are 100 people in their late 50s who have experienced this malaise? It's more than 100, David.
No, Dan. 100 people who were at Game 7 in 1970 and then at Game 4 in 2026.
Okay. Maybe.
That's Bill Bradley and Walt Frazier were 2, and then Jeffrey would be 3. And it wasn't Russo. It wasn't me. I was not there in 70. I started going to games in 74. So I missed the 2 titles, and I lived through all the dreck. And then once I got into baseball, I stopped being a true Knick fan, and now I've crawled my way back.
Were you feeling it last night? Because you were having a hard time getting into it. Did you feel it last night?
It's impossible not to. It was impossible not to be distracted by what went on at that game. But I will tell you, Dan, one thing you got wrong in the first hour. It's not that nobody thought the Knicks were going to win, because our entire area thought the Knicks were going to win at the half when we were down 27, because we were examining field goal percentage, and there's no way San Antonio was going to keep shooting at that clip. And so we knew that it really wasn't a 27-point game. It was not 76-49. We viewed it as more of a 14 or 15-point game, and that those games are easily changed.
Okay,
and then as we saw,
that's just made up numbers, made up math, made up revisionist
hold on, I'm going to stand up for
after
David
the
here. I think he's right, because when they were shooting in the first quarter and it was like 27-12, I was like, this game is really like 18-12.
No, it was 27-12.
No, it was like 18-12.
Regardless,
it's 18-12.
If it got
we
down to
actually
12,
said that, Tony.
it was over.
Smart,
Tony,
real
we
hoopers
talked
know
about what the score is, because you can't shoot 80% from 3 for a game. You can't shoot 75% from the field for the game. So you have to look at where the field goal percentages are, and that's how you can judge where the game is.
No, you don't have to do that. What you can do in that circumstance and say, because I'm going to say it again, and it's why I didn't get it wrong. The Spurs had the best half that a road team has ever had in a finals game. In order to come back from that deficit, you have to be as better than the Spurs in the second half as the Spurs were better than you in the first half, which means you have to be historically great in the second half in terms of what the point differential is to be better than what they were in the first half. Largely unlikely. It's why Michael Wilbon says he's never been more surprised by a result that David Sampson, of course, says, I knew it was going to happen.
So again, that's not right. The Knicks outscored them. What did they score? 58-30 in the second half?
The Spurs scored 30 points in the second half after scoring 76 in the first half. I cannot tell you how unlikely that is. It's so unlikely, it'll never happen again, and it's never happened before.
Well, I certainly would never say never, given how the NBA is this day and age. But my point is slightly different, which is that the crowd level, you asked me how it felt to be at the game. When OG goes in, and that was right on the side of the court where I was, and I was watching that play with Brian Wright. And I just want to tell you the story of Brian Wright, who runs San Antonio's basketball operations. He was standing behind me, and when I stood on the chair, I got a tap, and I didn't know who it was from. Like, hey, you're standing on a chair, you short guy. I turned around, it's Brian Wright. Turns out to be the nicest guy in the world, and we watched the last 2 minutes together. What he said, as I complimented him for building the team and the young players, etc., he was so despondent about the Fox play. He, while it was happening in real time, was yelling, back, 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 meaning pull back. And when he didn't, he just put his hands on his head, exasperated, because understanding that it was slipping away. However, after the OG tip, his reaction was not despondency. His reaction was not the series is over. He was very, very even-keeled and very confident given his team. So I'm not sure that this series is as over as everyone thinks it is, including me. And but for spending time with Brian, who I'd never met, I would have not believed what I witnessed, the way he took in that historic collapse.
You guys think what when I say there's no way at halftime Knicks fans actually believed they were going to come back and win this game?
I from watching on TV, that arena seemed like it was full of belief. Anytime they got to stop and had one bucket followed by another, the crowd was dying to get into it. They never left. So I definitely thought that was a situation in which they could get back into it. And the credit to the crowd, I thought Wu-Tang had a really difficult assignment at halftime.
Oh, Wu-Tang gets a lot of credit for that performance last night.
but they were dying for reasons to believe,
kids.
and they just got enough to keep that momentum going. And by the time that Wemby was on the free throw line, that was an absolute crescendo fever pitch.
That's the loudest it was, Mike. 1:47 left in the fourth. Wemby on the line. That was deafening. Louder than even with 1.2 seconds to play. And the thing about fans and what we were thinking at halftime, our whole section, we were not despondent. We were sort of shocked, like, we can't see that again. The Spurs can't keep doing that again. It's going to be okay if we can get it within 20. Let's start with that. And then when it was 90-75 at the end of 3.
Well, when you get it to 12, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap when you get it to 12.
It's great. Even at 15, though, at 90-75 going into
12.
the fourth. What?
12.
That's not what the score was at the end of 3.
No, but at 12, it was a wrap at 12. When you get it down to 12, it's a wrap.
Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows
I don't
that.
know what you are saying. I don't know what a wrap at 12 means. I don't wrap 12. I'm telling you that I wrap 6, and really not since my third child. What I'm telling you is that the third quarter ends, the fans are everywhere saying we're winning. It's like, we've got this. It was insane. And I was watching the Spurs bench, and I feel like they knew it too. It was like they were recognizing the momentum of the game and the collapse, which is why their shot selection was so mediocre. Every time they chucked a 3, the way Barkley described it with their 8 straight threes, and we couldn't believe the lack of plays that were being called or executed. And the Knicks would get a rebound. And I loved Mike Brown's rotations, which were out of the ordinary last night's game, letting Alvarado play instead of Bridges in crunch time at the end. He adjusted very well to what was happening at that time. And I can't believe what we saw. Meanwhile, after the game was a total nightmare, the egress of the ballpark. But the game itself, I will never forget.
Was there violence? Like, was it messy outside the arena?
I was scared. I was walking with an 86-year-old, and they funneled us through. We left the Garden, the 7th Avenue exit, east of the Garden. You couldn't leave. You had to walk south on 7th Avenue down to 28th Street. And they funneled all of us right to the Spurs team hotel, which I could not believe. The Spurs stay at the Ritz-Carlton in Nomad on 28th Street, just west of 5th Avenue. And the crowd got funneled to the front door of their hotel. And there were tons of people around. You say everyone stayed in the arena. Well, the streets were packed with people who were coming out of bars, etc. And they were, let's just say, I was quite nervous. And there were plenty of cops. But I did think to myself, I would not want to be there if the Knicks win a championship.
I just want to clarify what you have surmised for us here to make sure I have it accurate. After the game, you couldn't believe what had happened, but at halftime, you thought it was going to happen.
Of course, both things can be very true. You can believe that something's going to happen and look at the numbers and say it's possible to happen. And then the likelihood is that it won't happen, and you're going to give it up.
But for the record,
but then when they win, you look back and say, "Oh yeah."
But for the record, after it had happened, you couldn't believe that it had happened. But at halftime, before it had happened, you believed it would happen.
Exactly, perfectly said. Thank you, Dan. Do you want to do that one more time for the audience who's not paying attention?
After it happened. Mm-hmm. You couldn't believe that it had happened, but at halftime, you knew with great belief that it was going to happen.
God, that is exactly correct.
Okay, because it's exactly incorrect. Like none of that stuff is allowed to make sense together. You should just spill into the street with an 86-year-old and spin into the sea because that's as happy and confused as you will ever be in your life, even though you knew it was going to happen.
Okay. So Dan, I don't understand what you want me to say. We were sitting there at halftime, not leaving. Believe me, we were live on Nothing Personal.
You can't
at 7 a.m.
leave because of what you
to have
paid.
left.
You can't leave because of what you paid for those tickets. You've got to stay there.
That's not how season ticket holders look at it. It's just not. I hear you. It's great narrative. But when you're sitting around season ticket holders who have devoted decades to the Knicks, it would not occur to you to leave down 29, having nothing to do with the price. It's because you so badly want to see what you believe could happen but normally doesn't.
What's going on with Dolan and the NYPD and everything there? What are you reading about, and what's being reported in New York about this?
Well, let me tell you what I experienced last night. Number one, during the game, the Knicks went out of their way to honor the police department in a very bizarre move because of what Dolan has been doing against Commissioner Tisch, who's the police commissioner. Yes, the same Tisch as the Giants family. During the game, it was a love fest for the police department. Pre-game, accessing the Garden, there were police everywhere, and they were in good moods. The fans were only allowed if you had a ticket into a certain part of the city, and everything was fine. What wasn't fine was outside of the secured area, where that's where people were congregating. There was no official watch party because Dolan is a baby, and the police commissioner and the mayor of New York are standing on ceremony, and they can't work together to figure out what to do, and they're both lying about permitting, etc. But outside of the perimeter, it was like standing outside of a wall, like in Berlin, and you're looking over and you're saying, oh, is that freedom? Is that what rich people do? Because we're here on this side of the wall where we have nothing. But the problem is, to get home, you have to leave and go through that part of the wall, and that's when it gets dicey.
I want to get to what's going on with Giannis, because this is getting louder and louder locally and nationally, where it seems like all of the momentum is moving toward Miami, but I'm assuming Boston at some point is going to get in the mix here and see if they can offer something more than Tyler Hero. Zaz, what are your thoughts here before I ask David Sampson how much pressure is on Pat Riley to trade for Giannis, on how loud this has gotten the last couple of days, because there appears to be more people know more things, and we all know, the Bucks have said this, they want this resolved before the draft, and the draft is in less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, it feels like there's a lot of chatter online. And, I mean, look, you take this for what it is. You see this kind of stuff all the time, but Tyler Hero is now posting cryptic messages on his Instagram, and Hero's brother responds with a gif of a buck. And it feels like something is happening. Because I think the reality of it is, these deals, when we get the alert that the trade happened, a lot of times the trade's been done for several days, and the parties involved know this. David, I'm correct when I say that, right?
In certain instances, you do let the players know that they're in the midst of a trade talk. There are other GMs who do not want to tell the player anything, and they learn about it, through leaks, etc. But the commissioner's office has to be notified whenever there's a trade agreement that would involve money or picks, the way this does. At least in baseball, that's the case. But I'm more interested in Pat Riley, because I look at that trade. I'm not really excited for it in any way as a Heat fan. And I do love the Heat, having lived there so long, guys. I just don't like giving up that many picks for a guy. He's 31 years old. I do not believe that he can be the centerpiece of a championship team anymore. I'm concerned that him and Adebayo will not be the tandem that you think that they will be in terms of catching teams in the Eastern Conference. And I worry about his injury, his age, his performance, and it's a heavy package to give up. And I just don't think he's the savior. If Pat Riley makes this deal, he's only doing it because of you guys. He's doing it because he finally is giving in to the pressure.
I don't think
the
saying.
Real Pat Riley
he's doing it because Giannis is an uncommon basketball player that there's not a lot of precedent for.
The pressure that we're applying, they're a play-in team perennially. The pressure that he's feeling is the league has passed him by. He has to watch the New York friggin' Knicks win a title potentially. That's way more pressure than us saying, what are you doing, Grandpa?
Well, but let me just take this a step further. I'm just not willing to live in a sports marketplace where a team isn't excited to get Giannis, period. That's not – I don't know what you're doing there. You can have your questions about injury. You can have your questions about age, I suppose, although 31's not exactly old. You're playing for the next 4 years. You're playing for whatever is left of Pat Riley's tenure as the hood ornament on this thing. But David, not being excited about Giannis, any team in the sport has to be excited about Giannis. Like if the Celtics are willing to consider this, given what they've done the last couple of years, if any team in the sport needs to be excited about Giannis being added to their team.
In what felt like a down year for Giannis this year, he averaged 28 points, 10 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Down year.
Yeah, so those are great stats. But Giannis on Boston will have a bigger impact than Giannis on Miami. Giannis is not a number one piece anymore. It's a number one name. Don't get me wrong. But don't get suckered into trading for a name. You're trading for the quality of the player at that moment, in that particular year, with the particular teammates that he has.
David,
and
what
so
are you
Giannis
talking,
as
David?
the central figure doesn't work.
David, Giannis is still a number one player. Like, what are you talking about? He's still, he's 31. He's not 41.
Yeah, the best part about these discussions, Dan, is that they can be remembered because the Heat will play their season, and then you'll know whether or not.
Yes,
he's a
but
number
all they
one or
have
not
to
a number
do is be better than they were in the last few years as a play-in
No.
team. It's not much of a
No.
yes. That's all they have
That's
to
not
do.
what front offices do, Dan. Oh, let's just be better than the mediocre that we were last year. No, you're trying to build to win a championship. You're not trading those picks, which are gold in basketball. You can only trade them once. You're not trading them to just be a little better than a play-in team. You want to win a championship.
Well, but David, here's the thing. Here's why they're not gold, those picks to the Miami Heat. Because the Heat are not one of those teams that is willing to tank and then they're super high picks. Those picks, for teams to do that, those are gold. The Heat refuse to do the tanking, so their picks are always 13, 14, 15, and that's not gold.
Yeah, I think that that's going to change a little bit going forward. I think that what's going to happen as Pat Riley gets older and phased out, and as Nick Arison continues to put his finger at the top of the organization, which I think is much more at the top than people realize, I think that that will have to change because it's been proven in basketball, as well as some other sports, that if you do it right, you're going to be bad for a period of time, and then you may get lucky and then be great for a period of time. But being mediocre doesn't help. And trading away picks right now to get out of mediocrity for Giannis, I'm just saying that's not the answer.
So when you say, though, in terms of front office philosophy, that the goal is to win a championship, obviously you're not wrong about that. But the daily goal is just get better. Like, that's the daily goal, get better. And so if you want to make an argument that you think Khalil Ware will be somebody over the next 10 years that is going to have more value than the next 4 years of Giannis, I'm willing to listen to you, but you can't say that Giannis doesn't make the Heat better. And I don't think that you can question whether or not Giannis and Bam work together well. Like, that seems like an easy one, Zaz. I don't think there's going to be any problem with Giannis and Bam working together well because Giannis will be your number one and Bam will be your number two, and you'll continue to be really good at defense because Giannis and Bam together gives you an enormous amount of length against people the size of Jalen Brunson.
I'm stuck on the picks again. Like, I want to reiterate. Okay, the Heat would likely give up their pick this year. They would draft someone for Milwaukee because they can't actually trade this pick. But then the first tradable pick for Miami is in 2031. I'm not going to cry over a pick that we're giving up in 5 years from now. You know, like the picks they're just not, I don't think they're that valuable, David.
Yeah, that's why you're not running the team. And I mean that with love, Zaz, because 31 is tomorrow. When you're operating a front office 5 years from now, I can't tell you how soon that is. Think about 2021. It's like, to me, it's like yesterday when you think about who's on your team and what that team is like. And so you do think about 5 years from now. And Dan, don't misquote me. Bam and Giannis, it's nice. That's a nice 1-2. But are you saying that's a championship 1-2? My answer
no,
to that
I'm saying
is
that
no.
it gives you a better chance the next 3 years than the one you presently have with what your roster is, even if allowing for the improvement of Jovic and Jaime Jaquez and Ware and all their young players. The reason you develop those young players is not so they play for you. The reason that you develop those young players is so that you have the assets to go get the player who's better than they are.
Yeah, if you're trying to lose 20 pounds, I don't really celebrate when you lose 3. So I understand why you would have that intermediate view.
That's the first step.
I take offense to that.
Yeah, what's the best way to eat an elephant?
One bite at a time, Mike.
That's right, David Sampson, former team president of the Miami Marlins.
One bite.
Why are we eating elephants? I don't think we are eating elephants. I think it's a crime to eat elephants.
You see how far the Heat are in this whole arms race? That's eating an elephant.
I don't know what you're
love that,
doing there,
Mike.
Sampson. I really don't know what you're doing. You're muting enthusiasm for a star player when
I get what he is saying.
He's
He's making sense. I'm kind of like somewhere in the middle. Yeah, once the Heat got the pick that they did, I'm all in on we got to improve this. This is a franchise that has been without a bona fide superstar in quite some time. Proof of concept for this franchise means we kind of need that superstar to get to the very highest level. Giannis improves it, and it gives you a great base to build and add on to that. There are plenty of questions about Giannis. I'm afraid of it. Yeah, 31's not old biologically speaking, but for a dude that is so huge, that has limits to his game, that is already injured, that is the number one player right now on a team that sucks, yeah, there are questions.
But there is option for other people once Giannis gets in the building. They're talking about Bobby Portis at a mid-level exception as part of the trade. You're talking about Kawhi. Could he be out there in a trade? And then all of a sudden you start putting these pieces together. You got Kawhi, you got Giannis, you got Bobby Portis, you got Bam.
Look at us taking bites out of an elephant.
When Mike is saying, though, that there are questions, this kind of player throughout history is never available unless there are. Why would he be available unless there were a couple of questions? The Miami Heat is banking on the fact that it will be able to not only assemble around him, but rehab what would be as a talent, just strictly a talent, top 5 Heat player ever. And if you get a chance to get as a talent a top 5 Heat player ever with a roster that can't get into the playoffs, no matter what's on that roster, the fact that you can get it without trading Bam is damn near a miracle. Like, that you can get it without having
It's a no-brainer.
Like, it feels like you don't have to have a brain to do this.
Well, top 5 player of the Heat. You mean in Giannis's prime?
I'm saying now. I'm
today?
saying a skill level
Today?
player. The name on the back of the uniform. What I'm saying is the name on the back of the uniform. Look, David, don't make him 41. I understand the questions about whether or not his body's going to hold up. That is a risk everyone in the sport is breaking. He's not 41. Skill level. I'd put this right with or nearly above Wade on skill level, like right next to Wade on what you're talking
Skill
about.
level,
With,
I'm not here for that.
Talent, just talent.
Athleticism, yes.
I'm just talent. Zaz, any objection? Like, best skill levels in the history of the Miami Heat are.
Look, the numbers that he put up this year in a down year, I don't think anyone in Heat history has put up those numbers.
Skill's a crazy way to describe things. LeBron, Wade, Bosh.
Yeah.
Skill?
Talent.
More
talent.
skill.
Just talent.
God-given gifts, different conversation. But skills,
guys, this is a
crazy.
top 5 Heat basketball player of all time the moment that he puts the uniform on for the first time.
Shaq, Wade, LeBron. Yeah, top 5. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
We're arguing back here
Dan.
about Bosh versus Giannis and
Bosh was
skills.
more skilled.
Whatever,
Giannis
guys.
is better.
Fine. Whatever.
Yeah, no, that's a different
This is
conversation.
mud-worthy, Dan. We need to get in the mud here. I need to know, is it skill or is it talent?
You're talking about
athleticism?
as a jump shooter? Yeah, Bosh is a better
I want
jump
to
shooter.
be in the mud right now.
Just
Don't
keep
get me
Dwayne-
out of the mud.
We can all agree. The Dwayne Wade thing was crazy. And we never need to
Dan's
say
kind
something
of right.
like that.
Nobody's 7 feet tall and does the stuff that Giannis does.
Dwayne Wade's the
except for
second
Wemby.
greatest shooting guard in the history of the NBA.
I'm so muddy.
I'll give you a third.
He made the greatest sacrifice in the prime of his career in the name of the team. He could have gone to another team and had a different career and had more MVPs. They got to talk about James Harden being better than him because of the sacrifice that he made.
No, I have
Dwayne
Kobe
Wade's-
ahead of him.
Look at Chris. He's covered in mud.
Covered in mud. I'm so muddy.
This is what I'm saying. Perhaps I didn't use the right words. Sometimes the right words elude me. So perhaps skill level and talent isn't what I should have said. What I should have said, this is a top 5 of all time player who can dunk when he's standing on the free throw line.
That he wins.
Agreed.
Bosh wishes.
Wait. What, when he's standing still? Because Brent Berry was a member of the Miami Heat and famously won a slam dunk contest.
Terrible trade for the
That
Heat.
was Ike Austin.
Yeah, let him
for
walk
Brent
in free
Berry.
agency. Terrible trade.
Yeah, Brent Berry was bad.
You
but
needed Ike Austin that year.
Zaz, he
Harold
could
Miner.
dunk from the free throw line. Ooh, Harold Miner. I don't know if he's a free throw line guy.
He could dunk.
Yes, he could.
Let me try and phrase it another way because I'm bad with words. I'm going to try it another way. This is a top 5 Heat player of all time who, while standing on the free throw line, can just reach over and dunk without jumping or running.
How about Kashad Johnson?
Without jumping or running. He needs to jump and run.
I already forgot his name. I had to ask Tony. Who's that guy that won it for us? Was that this year?
Mourning.
I'm not going to do this with you guys anymore. I'm
Zoe
not going
over
to argue.
Giannis is crazy.
I'm not going.
No, Giannis is more skilled than Zoe.
I do want to ask, though, whether, because it is a giant international event, the biggest sporting event anywhere on earth, is America about to embarrass itself? Are the games going to be able to cover the amount of embarrassment that is coming with how poorly tickets are selling, some of the things that are happening? Are we going to be able in any way, David, to avoid what seems like American embarrassment about hosting the world's most important sporting event?
My fingers are crossed for some kidnappings in Mexico City. Because I think that's our best shot.
You're going to go ahead and want to take that back.
No, let me explain.
You have till the end of the segment to retract.
There are protests going on in Mexico City right now because of all the people who've been disappeared by the cartels. It's beginning to leak out and get press in North America and across Europe and Asia. Canada's been very clean here. No one's saying anything. America was in the pole position for bad press going into the World Cup. But Mexico is hot on their tails, and there is rumors that there will be major protests for today's Mexico-South Africa game, which is in Mexico City starting at 3 p.m. And if these major protests actually happen, which could delay the start of the game even, there is a chance that America will not be in the position to be the most embarrassed of the host countries. So what I'm hoping for is obviously not the actual kidnappings or the actual death of people, but just the fear of it, which leads to the protest, which will take the pressure off the insanity that exists in America right now.
You guys have to understand what just happened in here, so I could take people behind the scenes of the dangers of doing any of this stuff live. We've been doing it all live for the last 2 weeks. That's just a test run, so I'm sorry to disappoint you guys if next week we go back to not doing all of this live, but it's in the effort to eventually make all of it live. But as something was happening here, I'm whispering to Chris Cody, go into the other room and see if you can reappear covered in actual mud. And he starts to walk out, and I'm saying to him, yeah, be careful with where it is that we put the mud on your body and the makeup, and be careful about
all over.
As he's walking out to do this, I'm like, be careful about that, while David's saying, fingers crossed, I'm rooting for kidnappings in Mexico City, which is something I have never heard before. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you ever crossed your fingers hoping that someone gets kidnapped? Because, David, I need you to retract that statement before the end of the segment. We've got a rule around here. You got to take something back. You offered context. I need you to just take back the statement.
My fingers are crossed that everyone will be safe in Mexico and in America, but I'm still hoping for protests in Mexico in order to possibly cover how big a shit show it is around the U.S. with the World Cup.
Chris, I believe we can explain in these times to an international audience that you were going for mudface. I believe that we can explain that, and we would be okay there. And
I talked to the team. You know, we got
Did you talk to me?
Had some big, got all the big wigs together, and
put the mud on your nipples.
Ooh, no bad ideas, Tone.
I think it's a bad idea to cross your fingers rooting for kidnappings. I do think there are bad ideas. You say there are no bad ideas. I think we were just in the middle of two of them. That one of them was walking through the back of the room as the other one was speaking at a microphone.
Lewis says
New York.
we're good, by the way.
Yeah, that's good. I think we should follow his judgment straight into unemployment. Yeah.
How does Spanish television get away with this?
We're going to embarrass ourselves, right, Mike?
We've already embarrassed ourselves. I actually think there's an opportunity here for the tournament to get going. Some of that stuff to quiet down, and then the matches speak for themselves. Usually the game, transcends that stuff. And look, this country, things weren't going great during the Winter Olympics either. In fact, politicians, controversial ones, made overtures to the team, and the team co-signed this administration in many ways that felt icky, and still one beautiful Sunday morning, we were all screaming USA. So the best thing that could happen here is for the U.S. men's national team to surpass what are admittedly low expectations for this team, give a nation a reason to believe and feel good about this country.
To be fair, anytime I watch Twitter, there's some European telling me America rocks.
Yeah, I think it's a psyop.
You could believe that, but everybody's saying, "Hey, you guys have ranch? Why don't we have this in Luxembourg?" And I'm like, ranch rocks.
It's great to be reminded, being able to add cherry to any type of soda is incredible.
You guys have ice?
Yeah. Air conditioning? No, there's a Chick-fil-A in the stadium. Yeah. No, go to Chick-fil-A.
You don't know what Chick-fil-A is?
In the stadium.
I meant frozen water.
Yeah.
Thank you
Can
for
you
that
believe that, by the way,
clarification,
Mike?
Mudface.
That Chick-fil-A, when you have it in the stadium, they can't serve it on Sunday games?
That just tells you the appetite for it when they have events like the World Cup and Atlanta United, college football, match days that don't land on Sundays.
I just realized what you guys are watching on Spanish television.
We're having fun.
Spanish television is wonderfully stuck in the 1990s.
They don't do exposed shoulders anymore here. There, I said it.
Here, but there they still do.
Well, that is here.
They're here, though.
Yeah.
I love the World Cup.
There are just dancing women wearing not a lot of clothes on Spanish television.
Oh, wow.
Samson, what's the movie you're reviewing for us this week?
Well, now it's just perfect segue. Michael Jackson, The Verdict. Netflix documentary. I forgot so much stuff that happened. I didn't watch the movie, Michael. Not yet. That's available. I'm talking about the documentary on Netflix, but we're close. And apparently, I had forgotten all about the suit and the child who he had been accused of molesting and how it all went down during that long trial. I didn't remember that it was over 30 days of testimony. I didn't remember Macaulay Culkin testifying at this trial.
Did you remember him saying in an interview, Michael himself saying, "Yeah, I sleep with that boy. I share a bed with him," volunteering it during an interview?
That was during a documentary by Martin Bashir, and that he's a big part of this documentary called Michael Jackson, The Verdict. It talks about the Martin Bashir documentary where he actually, no, still not that one, where he, for those of you listening, you're not seeing what I'm seeing, which is the video department trying to give you the thumbnail of the movie I'm talking about and not getting it right. But Martin Bashir did a documentary where Michael Jackson said, yeah, it's not sexual. I sleep with boys, and they're in my bed. And for those of you who think it's sexual, you're out of your mind. And what's amazing is the jury bought that. He got acquitted on these charges because there was not enough physical evidence, and him simply saying, I sleep with boys in bed, and the boys saying, yeah, but he's like my father. It's outstanding. I was yelling to the TV, but he's not your father. It's not acceptable. It's absurd. You should be in prison. Now, of course, it doesn't matter because he croaked, but I found it's just horrible. And then I was listening to Michael Jackson Thriller, feeling guilty.
It's a good album.
Yeah, there it is. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you feel guilty when you're enjoying Michael Jackson's music? We will let David go. Nothing Personal is his podcast. He continues to do it exceptionally well, no matter what the difficulties are in his life. Happy for him today. He had a joyous moment of relief last night. First one in a long time. Thank you, David.
Yes. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Coming up on Mystery Crate today, we are tiering Steven Spielberg movies. We are all getting assigned a World Cup team to do book report on.
Do we have to do the book report?
I don't think so.
I thought we were just going to watch the team.
How about we just do like one fun fact?
Okay, well, I like that. One fun fact.
But it better be fun, though. If you're going to play fun fact, you better come with a fun fact. Anyways, we got a lot coming up here today. Rose is doing her thing. Zaz has got an old-ass story. And Tony, we're just mystery crating the shit out of this episode. So you better check it out.
A Miami commissioner is weaponizing government against me. The future of the Port of Miami, which is Florida's fifth biggest economic driver, is in jeopardy thanks to the incompetence of Miami-Dade government. Or is it actually a long con? Plus, another episode in the never-ending series of Florida Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. All new because Miami.
Nick, before we let you talk about the Steelers, you're in luck because we have the Love Doctor. The Love Doctor is here. He is ready. He is in his office right now. Dr. Greg Cody getting everybody ready for Mother's Day this weekend. And we have questions. The Love Doctor is going to have the answers. Who's up first?
I know a lot of people are going to come to you and they're going to want to know, how do you keep it interesting? Me, I'm not interested in interesting. So how do you keep it predictable? How do you keep it ho-hum? How do you just let it just be?
Was that Jason Tatum asking that question?
Young lady, you are my kind of gal. That's my lane. That's my lane of romance. I invented predictable. Nobody has perfected the art of dull routine like yours truly. As a matter of fact, little inside information here, my wife and I schedule our naughty time months in advance, like doctor's appointments. Quite often, she'll have to cancel because she said something came up. Unfortunately, sometimes I'll have to cancel because something didn't come up. That kind of thing.
It's good luck for us.
Do we have another question for the Love Doctor here after such great advice?
With Chris listening.
Oh, we're doing it, baby.
What are you guys doing, man?
Oh, you want question number 2?
Yeah, let's go question number 2.
Oh, yeah, Greg. Hey, man, I need your help, man. So I'm out of town for Mother's Day, trying to figure out what can I get my girl for Mother's Day in another city.
Oh, wow. Buddy, I'm worried about this. Not one, but 2 of the Love Doctor's marriages began rending like cheap fabric when Greg was either out of town at a sporting event or away at a doctoral conference. And the exes were doing the clandestine bumpy bump behind my back. Jack, I suggest you get your girl what you'd never expect, a private eye to keep an eye on her randy ass.
You know about that randy ass, Nick?
I don't like this at all.
Thank you, Love Doctor. Don't go anywhere. We may go back to you. Appreciate you.
I don't like this at all.
Somehow the least embarrassing Cody on today's show.
Wait till Nick finds out that Chris, with Greg sitting nearby, admitted about a half an hour ago that when he's having a hard time becoming aroused, he thinks of his wife's twin sister to get in the mood.
It was a shocking revelation.
That's what happened, Nick.
Shocking.
That happened.
Yeah, he did.
No, he did.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did. He did.
It was shocking.
Unnecessary also.
I don't like... This isn't... Again, I might need a mean here. This isn't K-Fab. K-Fabe?
K-Fabe.
Which is it? I don't know.
K-Fabe, wrestling nerd here at your service.
This isn't...
Zaz could have
Thanks,
helped
Mike Ryan. This isn't K-Fabe. I don't like this at all. And I would appreciate if you guys turned the music off. This is not great.
So the Steelers. Are you ready to do your catchphrases? I heard there's some controversy around the. It's the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. He is counting down his top 50. Here's one of the things that is just really great about where it is we've been the last couple of weeks with this Knicks team and where it is that we're headed, okay? As Tracy Morgan is crying in his car long time after the game, still crying because of how emotional he is. I can assemble the argument that last night is as good as New York has ever felt about a sports result, and yet they can still lose the series, giving us the joy of making that a totally forgotten thing because they lose the series after having the greatest feeling New York has almost ever had about basketball, because that felt like the winning of a championship last night because of what it is that happened in that game and because of how improbable it is and because you've now got a historic run by a historic team punctuated or close to punctuated in a historic way.
No matter what happens the rest of this series, like the New York fan, they got the moment. You know, like even if they win Game 5 on the road and so you can't celebrate in front of your home crowd, you still got the moment last night. Like, it was like winning a championship, it felt like. But it's very similar to the Ray Allen shot in 2013. If the Heat don't win Game 7, no one gives a shit about the Ray Allen shot. And if the Knicks don't win this series, no one is ever going to care about the OG
Derek
Anunoby
White,
tip.
right? Derek White scoring at the end of a Heat game to bring them back down from
that was Game 6,
from down 3-0 to 3-3.
But who cares?
Nobody remembers because the Heat won the series. Let's put up the
You
video.
did just remember it.
To just remind you that everyone forgot it. I did just remember it, but only because I was reminding
I wasn't
everyone
thinking
that
of
they.
it.
Right.
I never forgot it, pal.
You all forgot about it, and then I reminded you about it.
No, chill went down my spine. Never forgot about it.
When I reminded you about it, because you had forgotten.
Tippin went in. I shit all over the floor.
You had finally put that smell away, though. Like that, the lingering scent of that shit on the floor had been put away, and I just brought it back.
That was tough.
Iman Shumpert was at the arena last night, and he's at the arena last night wearing his own Knicks jersey. So the first question I want to put up at Le Batard Show, when you think of Iman Shumpert, Knicks jersey or Cavs jersey?
Cavs.
What do you make of him being at a game in replica wear? I don't know. I don't know if he went to the NBA store or if he just went to his closet.
Game worn. Yeah, game worn. He confirmed game worn jersey for the Knicks.
Would he have done this same exact thing if Cleveland had won the East?
You think they're selling the Shumpert jersey in the NBA store?
Chris, to answer your question, he wouldn't have done this same thing because why would he wear a Knicks jersey if the Cavs had won the game?
I meant in a Cavs jersey.
Oh, okay. But it wouldn't be the same exact thing if it was in a Cavs jersey. It would be a thing that was different in a Cavs jersey.
Now you want to get in the mud.
Well, go ahead and do that idea that you had of going and covering yourself in mud.
Bad idea.
Around the nipples, just around the nipples. Nobody's going to say
he can't do that.
He's got black nipples. Nobody's going to say that there's going to be a problem that cancels him because he's got black nipples.
Can Chris do black nipple?
We'll see.
Don't put that on the poll, actually.
Is that okay? How are you guys
black
feeling?
Nipple?
How are you guys feeling about Shumpert wearing his own jersey? Would you guys do that if you had played for the Knicks and if you had a jersey that was game worn?
I know Roy would.
Oh, this is the situation that I definitely would.
Would you walk around?
Guy wears Bellamy jerseys and he's never played.
In the event that no one there knew who Shumpert was, they would know if he's wearing the jersey. There were some people saying, I'm sure, even though he's 6'5" or 6'6" or whatever he is that indeed Shumpert, or is that someone who looks like Shumpert who's just wearing a game-worn Shumpert jersey that he bought at the NBA store, which shouldn't still be selling those things?
He was sitting like second or third row courtside. I like the idea of the former Knicks, like the Knick alum, like Patrick Ewing should have to be sitting courtside in his Ewing jersey.
I agree. That in the whole uniform. I put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Should the former Knicks be all going to the game?
He should also have ice packs on his knees.
In full Knicks uniform.
The old Knicks have been on fire lately. I could not stop watching.
Tony loves John Starks.
I could not stop watching John Starks, who was basically in on every play. There was a massive situation where Stephon Castle steps out of bounds, and then John Starks is in the middle between the ref and Stephon Castle saying, out of bounds, out of bounds. How can you get that close?
It's crazy.
It feels like AAU basketball.
It's like my dad. Hey, come over here.
The Knicks fans are all the Knicks former Knicks players are unks. All of them are unks, and they're all just in.
No, it's like Rucker when a cool play happens and everyone just descends,
mobs the court
on the court.
Let's get to De'Aaron Fox sound because, again, I'm going to say that outside of Harrison Barnes, they don't have a player who's supposed to give off veteran stability more than De'Aaron Fox, and he just collapsed. There are a number of things from the end of that game that are crazy. I'm going to give the stat again because this is nuts what I'm saying. In an NBA Finals game, as the whole thing swings from instead of 2-2, it's 3-1, you have a situation, Zaz, and this is just sheer stupidity, that Alvarado is making more shots the last 9 minutes of the game than all the Spurs. Like, that's crazy.
I couldn't believe. Like, I'm watching Alvarado and Jordan Clarkson running around on the court, and I'm like, these can't be guys you play in the finals. And Mike Brown did eventually take Jordan Clarkson out, but Alvarado, he essentially won them a finals game.
Not only that, like, I think the reasoning behind using him and Brunson at the same time is they really don't have a ball handler like Alvarado who can establish the offense once Brunson was stuck in the double team up top. Like, you're not going to put Bridges there. You're not going to put OG there. You have nobody else to bring the ball up. You got Alvarado who can make some nifty plays.
Let's get to the sound, though, of the rest of us are wildly confused by what De'Aaron Fox was doing the last 12 seconds of the game. Like, I think this is all-time meltdown stuff. He's not going to go down in the J.R. Smith category of just forgetting the score of a finals game, but there were 3 mistakes at the end of this that are the opposite.
3 in a row.
In 12 seconds, it's the opposite of whatever it is you think veteran poise is. And after the game, De'Aaron Fox still seems confused about, I don't know that I did anything wrong there.
Being able to outrun them. That's it. How do you get the chance? Have them scored. Try to get a layup, get up 3. You know, make them force them to need a 3. And OG made a good block.
Yeah, how about you don't allow OG to be in a situation to make a good block?
Hank Azaria is going to join us here in a little bit as we continue to saturate you in New York celebrity that annoys you so that you get sick of this team so that when it loses the next 3 games, you rejoice in a way that's uncommon for you. But before we do that, I want to make sure to get to Mike Brown here, taking credit for Anunoby's tip there at the end of the game. And I'm going to remind you guys again, I'm just going to say it again. When the shot left Brunson's hand, outside of Brunson, there was no one physically, geographically on the court further from the rim and the basketball than Anunoby, the man who tipped it in to win the game. And here's Mike Brown taking credit for that.
I challenged a lot of our guys today, you know, and OG was one of the guys I challenged. I told OG, as big, as strong, as athletic as he is, he's got to be a monster on the offensive glass tonight. I don't know if there was a play bigger than any other play in the history of Knicks basketball. That was a huge offensive rebound. Huge offensive rebound. He took on the challenge, and he went and won the game for us, doing exactly what I called him out for, doing shoot around today.
If Mike Brown told him before the game he needs to be huge on the offensive glass, why did he wait till 1 second left to grab his first offensive rebound of the game?
That was a great job by him, doing exactly what I told him he should do before the game.
I think it would be great coaching if Mike Brown just goes to all his players and say, you win the game tonight, okay? I need you to win the game tonight, win the game. And they'll listen to him and then just win the game, and that's good coaching. I think we can all agree on that. Here's Wemby talking about what is going to be remembered as one of the all-time collapses if the Spurs don't end up rallying in this series.
Third row on the left.
Can't really explain it right now. I don't know. I think it's just, execution, greediness, some sort. We clearly weren't the most hungry in the second half.
No, they weren't greedy. They should have been greedy. They were the opposite of greedy.
Did you find yourself getting mad at Wemby because he continued to settle for long jumpers when you kind of – and they got some fouls.
Tony,
but
did you find yourself getting mad at Wemby?
You know what I found myself getting mad at? The jumper that he hit from the top of the key. I was like, you're tired. Missed that shot. What are you doing there?
Well, he missed 9 of his 11 before he finally made it.
He was bad. The fourth quarter, he was bad.
I just got angry at how bad both teams were at times. It was just, it was compelling. It was fun. It was as exciting a basketball game.
The Knicks had bad moments, but very few of them in that fourth quarter. There were so many massive shots from everybody.
I wouldn't say very few of them.
The 24-second violation and then the pop out
near half court.
You're stuck on it not being great basketball. I really don't care.
Okay.
The drama is so much more interesting to me. I'd rather there be the drama.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow. I've never heard from a major network anchor on a major sports platform have the analysis that's both accurate and crude of stupid ass,
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow.
Stupid ass.
Zaz,
wow.
If you had to take a guess, Charles had the Spurs on the money line, yes or no? Because they covered. They covered. He wouldn't be mad about that. The Spurs covered because they were getting a point and a half or 2.5.
Yeah.
But he's been saying since game 2 that this series is over, so I'd be surprised if he bet against what he's saying publicly.
But the Knicks must have been favored last night, so there's money to be made on the Spurs winning that game last night.
It was a point and a half, like Dan said, so the spread wasn't huge. But I'm sure that there's an arbitrage bet where he can have the Knicks going the entire series, but then also have a one game where he's got.
Maybe
the
he
Spurs
bets
big.
series exact score.
Hank Azaria is there. He's the voice actor of our generation. He is a Knicks fan, even though sometimes he watches Knicks games 2 days after they've been played so that he can do it while exercising on his treadmill and then avoids his phone for several days so he doesn't know any of the results. One of the stranger Knicks fans you will meet, and that's covering some ground. Always nice to see you, Hank. Did you eventually get in? This is the first time you've gotten into one of these finals games. Were you able to get into Madison Square Garden last night? Congratulations, sir.
Oh, I was in there all right. That was, well, it's a cliche at this point to describe the pandemonium in there, but it was nuts. It was a morgue in the first half, as you might imagine. And then I tell you, I've been going to the Garden since 1970. The loudest moment, and I've been there for a lot, the loudest moment ever in the Garden was actually the volume when Wemby was taking those 2 free throws. It was insane in there. I think it actually rattled him.
Are you someone who has a bad voice, a voice that's very valuable because you were screaming too much last night?
I made sure not to scream too. I was in total, there was nothing to scream about in the first half. And then when they were making this strange, gradual sort of limpy comeback all through the second half of the game, I was too nervous to even commit to the reality that it might be happening to yell out loud about it. I just kind of stood there with my hands on my head, just with my mouth agape, not wanting to breathe too much.
Where does this rank in terms of best sports feelings you've ever gotten as a sports fan?
Oof. Top 5. As Jets, Mets, Knicks fan, there's not so much that you have to choose from. Probably Mets, Mookie Wilson in 86 is all of that was the top. And this would probably go, it's definitely top 5.
Were you confused seeing Larry David happy?
It was crazy in there celebrity-wise. I'll tell you a nutty story, okay? So a couple of days ago, you don't know from the Garden whether you're going to get in till that day. Like if you're Ben Stiller or you're Tracy Morgan, or I think Spike actually pays for his tickets. But so they don't let you know till day of because there's such high demand. And for game 3, I didn't make the cut. So I decided I'm going to buy tickets for game 4, which will be outrageously expensive. And then if the Garden, if the Knicks get me in, then I'll sell those tickets on StubHub because they weren't hard to sell, right? So I find out that I'm in, and I try to sell the tickets on StubHub, but for some reason, they're not going for the same price anymore. Maybe because the Knicks lost game 3. I don't know what it is, and they're very good seats. So I'm holding them and holding them and holding them. And I'm like, the Garden tickets they got us are free. I got 2 friends that are such big Knicks fans that we watch all the games together. Let me just have them come and watch the game, and they'll sit in the other seats. It's a very extravagant gift, but what the heck, right? So I'm thinking the Garden is, I know I'm not courtside, but I think they've got me good seats, but we're way up in what they call the Cisco suites, which are like the ceiling, okay? But in this suite is me, Questlove, Rainn Wilson, Ed Burns and Christy Turlington, Jeremy Strong, Aaron Judge is right there. Like, there's so many folks want in that they've stuck us all up in the rafters. And my friends now are sitting in great seats that I bought, and I can't switch with them. I'm in the ceiling, and my friends are in the seats.
Wait a minute. Who was in this? So this is star-studded, and you're telling me there's some of the worst seats in the house?
Horrible. No, every publicist in town, like celebrities are scattered throughout the entire garden. You only see the A plus list down at the bottom. Everybody else is like stuck wherever.
Hank,
you know?
you've had an enormous amount of success over a number of years. Do any of your neuroses get sort of ravaged with the idea of, wait a minute, I thought I was a bigger celebrity than this person as a Knicks fan, as a New York sports fan?
Sometimes, but that ship has sailed so long ago for me. I'm just happy to be in there and whatever, right? But then, I asked the garden person who I'm in touch with, can we switch at halftime? Like, can they come up to this suite? And they said, no. They said, no, we can't do that. Not on a finals night. It's too crazy.
I imagine that those people would have been happier being in a box with those celebrities than having those seats. Like, if I tell somebody, what would you guys choose in that spot? A box with Jeremy Strong and Hank Azaria and Aaron Judge?
The one with Jeremy Strong. That's all I need.
Guys, it was way up.
That's
it was
all I
hard
need.
to see.
From people
I couldn't
watching.
tell if baskets were made. I was like, did that go in? Did that go in? I can't really tell.
From a people watching perspective, that had to just be fascinating, but mainly
It was
just
cool up
for
in there.
Jeremy Strong.
Yeah, but what are you going to talk to him like, hey, Jeremy, what do you think of that
No,
shot?
I just watch him. I want to see how he reacts. Is he into it?
Just a cuck?
Does he? Yeah, I would cuck the fandom. Absolutely.
He seemed to be. I was there. Rainn Wilson and I went to college together, and Rainn's a huge Knick fan, a very knowledgeable fan. So we had a good time. I was there with my son. It's just after his 17th birthday. But then at the half, we had to switch it up because it was so bad. We're changing seats.
Hold on.
Right?
Your son has grown up with that Simpsons money. Did he look at his dad disappointed and being like, Dad, why are we way up here? Like, how is this happening?
Little bit, yeah. And it was both our birthday, split. Partly why I went nuts is our birthdays are close together. So it's supposed to be our birthday celebration. At the halftime, I was like, this doesn't count as the birthday. We got to do something else because this is brutal. And then we switched the seats and it all turned around. It was crazy.
Who did you look at in that suite and privately say to yourself, slumming, I thought you'd get better seats than these?
Everybody, including myself. We all felt better about ourselves that we're all up in the roof with each other.
Aaron Judge was in that. Aaron Judge can't get better seats than that.
I don't know what that story was. I really felt like Aaron Judge could have done better. If anybody asked, look at who was down there. I mean, it was like, I tell you, the one that bothered me was Taylor Swift.
Why?
But come on.
She just got here.
I know she's the hugest thing in the world, but we had to sit with her all through the NFL, and now she's at the Garden. Come on.
Wow.
She gets 4 seats, her 3 friends.
It's total bandwagon. Like, Hank has been there since the 70s. He's the voice actor for a generation. Like, this is... The man continues to be someone who stars in movies for the better part of 35, 40 years.
Not that I question why she'd get the seat. I'm just tired of the whole Taylor Swift.
She did have 3 seats. I got the guest list in front of me right now.
Ridiculous.
She had 3 seats.
She's also paying millions of dollars to have MSG closed to have her wedding there, right? So,
is
that right?
Is that true?
She is having her wedding there, reportedly.
That guest list is substantive. So, Hank, did you sleep well last night? Like, or were
No.
so you were just wired, huh?
Well, then coming home through the city was like, that I've never seen anything like. Every block, every subway, everything, people chanting different insane things. And, New York is not a warm, fuzzy place, but everybody just so excited. I mean, every city that wins needs it, but this was really, I don't know. I really felt like, sorry, my phone's ringing. I really felt like this is big for the city.
Will you go to Game 6 if the Knicks don't win Game 5?
I will.
Even if you're in the same, they're going to put you back up there because that ticket's even going to be
He
harder.
might not make the cut.
That ticket.
I might just go ahead and purchase my tickets and stick with them this time.
Ben Stiller, a very good friend of yours. Ben Stiller, I think, is at the top of whatever Knicks fan celebrity Mount Rushmore is. He's doing a documentary. That's why he's filming that much from the sidelines. Have you spoken to him? Are you connecting with him around the Knicks? Because he's a total insane person.
Yeah, we are Knicks buddies. Yeah, we're just nobody can say much except I can't believe it. We're going to have to figure out something else to say eventually. But that said, especially, given the history of the New York sports disappointments, list them, right? The Knicks ones, going back to Reggie Miller and Charles Smith not being able to make a layup and Ewing getting hurt before the 99 finals. So you knew we had no shot and can't ever get through Jordan and Halliburton, and it's all been so, and missing the draft picks by one year after year after year. John Miranda's 2, and we had the 3rd pick, and on and on and on. And don't get me started on the Jets and Mets. And it feels like it's all, this is all, the karma is totally turned around. I mean, I think, look, LeBron came back from 3-1 down. It's not over yet.
Were you tempted? Were you tempted at halftime to leave? Was anybody in that box tempted at halftime to leave?
Oh, I joked, texted to my friends, like, guys, keep the seats. I'm out of here. And they were like, what? I'm like, I'm kidding. But I think Mike Francesa actually said last night, I bet the only reason a lot of people stayed is because they paid so much money. There's no way they're going to leave, but I felt like leaving. It was brutal.
But you don't want to be the person that is Stugotz when Ray Allen makes the shot and you're trying to get back into the arena because you've walked out on what is the single greatest comeback that anyone can remember in the NBA championship finals.
No, you don't. And I'm good with, I watched so much that I was like, I'm really good with, I said to my son, we're down 27 at the half. I said, they have to, first of all, the first 3-4 minutes has to go well. They have to cut into it a bit. And then if they can get it to 15 at the start of the 4th, it enters the realm of human possibility.
12, it's a
which
wrap.
is exactly what happened. And then, like you guys, I think were saying, it's not like they played particularly great in that second. Their defense tightened up a great deal. And it was dumb. I couldn't believe that San Antonio kept shooting threes when they got cold from there. And the level at which they were hitting those threes in the first half, that was shocking. That was the most shocking part of that first half. It was like, these guys can't miss.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow. I'm going to say this part again, okay? In that first half, the Knicks made 15 shots and the Spurs made 14 threes. Just threes.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I was also, at the end of, it was Fox. The shot that OG blocked, I couldn't believe he went up with that ball.
That's correct. None of us could. Nobody in the history of watching basketball could believe he was doing that, except De'Aaron Fox, who was still defending it after the game.
And the broadcast team for some reason.
Oh, I get the idea that he felt like he was about to get an easy bucket, so he just was going to take it. But there was so much about the last few minutes of that game that you were mid-reacting to what you couldn't believe, and then something else insane happened on top. So you just
you got it right.
Rainfall.
And then you spill into the street and everyone is chanting and dancing.
Was it a backcourt? Was it out of backcourt? Where was he?
Yes, that was another one. Because I was about to say, why is Fox shooting? And then Obi blocked it. And then what, right after that, was it, I don't even know was that the almost backcourt violation with the foul?
What's funny about what Hank is saying, what's funny about that is we expect the players to show poise in that situation while none of us watching are showing poise because we're still reacting to the same situation. I'm convinced that what happened to De'Aaron Fox is he spent the last 12 seconds of the game being like, just hitting himself in the forehead figuratively because of what had happened and just sort of lost his way on how to play basketball in every way because things were happening too fast. And if Hank can't keep it together, it would make sense that the players themselves would get confused and disoriented by things that had happened seconds earlier.
Hank, experiencing the whole thing, the end of that game with your son must have been like the best thing ever, right?
Teenagers don't like you to touch them too much, okay? So I haven't really hugged my son in like a year. I think I hugged him 27 times in 4 minutes last night. And it was organic. It was allowed. It was like, it was incredible. I'll never forget being there with my son. What about the one? I think the thing that's blowing my mind, even the OG tip in real time, was absolute lunacy. He flew in from nowhere, literally, and that tip was not a tip. It was, you'd expect when someone gets up that high, they either stuff it back down or they bank it. How he managed to get at the apex of his jump and sort of just flutter it, and it arced into the basket. I still don't understand it. But Josh Hart missing that layup slash stuff that's when my brain broke. That's when like nothing made sense to me anymore. It was just too much.
Hank, thank you for the time. We have to get rid of you here because Method Man has showed up. I'm sorry to treat you the way you were treated in that celebrity box last night.
What? Hank Azaria? No freaking way. Salute.
What's up?
Salute. Legend.
How you doing?
Yes,
Were
sir.
you there last night?
I was. But unfortunately, I have anxiety around crowds. So after we performed, I left and listened to it. And by the time I got home, I saw the shot. So, yeah.
Oh, that's forgive me. Of course, I was so depressed at halftime that I couldn't even focus on. I was also changing seats, and I was in a daze. And I was thinking about you guys down there. Like, was it kind of hard to perform after that first half?
Well, backstage, I felt that way. But once we went out there, I was like, you know what? Let's just go all out. And if they get this comeback, it's gonna look great for all of us. So, I made a quick prediction too at the end of the whole thing. I said Knicks in 5, and I honestly, I was not blowing smoke. I believed it. I actually believed it.
You have a legit case for you turned it around.
I think so. I think so. But honestly, that falls on the players, the coaching, and the adjustments they made to win that game, man.
I listen, I think if I can claim that because I changed seats, I changed the energy, you certainly can claim it.
It all helped. The sage burning, everything, it all helped.
Hank, good seeing you.
Right.
Thank you,
Take
sir.
care.
We will talk to you soon. Miss you. Method Man, it's an unusual thing to say, buddy, and I've heard you say it before. Anxiety around crowds for a performer, that one seems to be a bit contradictory there.
Yeah, it does. But you have to understand, after that game is over and you're trying to leave that area, it gets tricky. It gets really tricky. And, if you're a public figure, you'll get swamped by that crowd.
How was it for you last night performing there? Like, you have had some majestic New York sports moments here, and where does this one rank?
It was cool. I mean, I was in the same space everybody was at that point because we were losing by so much. But I had just performed there a couple of weeks ago, so I was pretty comfortable. It was routine for me, What was really disheartening is that we performed in front of a New York crowd and they didn't know the words to the song.
But you did I hear you?
Mariska Hargitay didn't know him.
No.
Did I hear you right though? You didn't. So you don't have any regret about not being there for the ending and having that sweep over you emotionally as a New York sports fan who cares so much about sports. You had to get away from all of that.
I'm definitely kicking myself in the butt for missing that moment, but missing that crowd, no. Won't apologize for that. Don't regret that at all.
What were the parts of the game that you found most interesting? As Michael Wilbon, who's seen plenty of basketball, says he's never seen anything like that before. When you analyze the game here with your friends and relive it a little bit today, what are the parts of it that are that make you the most excited?
Pre-game. I had because we were sitting on the side where the Spurs were warming up. And I got Fox's attention, and I did the whole, Jalen Brunson thing. He came over, showed love, touched my hand, and had those turnovers after that. So let's just chalk it up to that.
What is the
love him though as a player?
What is the ranking that you have for him as an all-time Knick, all-time beloved Knick?
Who?
Brunson.
Fox. Oh, Brunson. Oh man. He has put himself in the upper echelon of Nick Lore, I believe. But I think he's in the top 5. I'll say top 5. I won't put more names on it. But yeah, I'll say he's top 5 right now. Cat's in there somewhere too. But now OG has propelled himself to a level where he will be top 5.
I don't think Cat's in there, Meth. I think you've got New York's got a very complicated relationship with Karl Anthony Towns.
I like Cat. I like Cat a lot. And his dad is dope. His father's truly a OG.
Of the former Knicks who sit courtside and even some who sit within the first couple rows, like which of them do you especially love running into on a night like last night?
Definitely Starks and definitely my boy Pat Ewing, It's good to see Kurt Thomas. Kurt Thomas, I love that guy as well. But Starks and Ewing, I met Starks outside of the Garden. Very cool brother. And Ewing, what can I say? He gave us a lot of blood, sweat, and tears over the years, So, yeah, he's a staple of New York now.
Meth, always good catching up with you. I know you got to get out of here.
Sir.
You got a heart out. Thank you, sir. Hope you're well. Always nice seeing you.
Enjoy the rest of your day, gentlemen. Knicks in 5. Peace.
Yes, sir. The numbers from last night, Zaz, are any of them, in all of the numbers that I've run through, are any of them something that you look at and say that's more interesting than all of the others? Because for the Spurs to have that first half, this has happened to them now twice in this series, and it doesn't actually make much sense. How you go from scoring 76 in the first half to then scoring 30 the rest of the game.
Well, that's why I object to Wembanyama saying how they got greedy. No. You were the opposite of greedy. Getting greedy would have been attacking. We're going to be greedy pigs here and continue to build the lead and build the lead. They were the opposite of greedy.
In today's NBA, okay, I understand that 3 of these games have been played at about that scoring level. And to me, the big surprise was, we just saw a 76-point half when these are 2 top 5 defenses. The idea that in today's NBA, the Spurs are this close to a championship, and no matter the defense played against you, you're scoring 30 second-half points when that's a quarter for you. Like, 30 second-half points is not all New York defense. That's you miss and you miss and you miss, and you keep shooting threes and you miss and you miss and you miss, and you take a few free throws to try and stem what's happening around you, but you're not being aggressive enough and you're missing 8 threes because you continue to settle for stuff that's far away from the rim.
It's getting high in your own supply from the first half of hitting all these threes, shooting 60% from 3 in the first quarter, and it's like, all right, just run it back in the second half. Not really much to talk about at halftime. Like, let's keep going. And then as those threes, Samson talked about last segment, those threes stop hitting. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, wait a second. Everybody's a little bit tighter.
Egregious laziness. Because they have 3 players in particular that can get to the basket. They have the ultimate cheat code and an 8-foot dude that you can just lob it in that direction and he can get fouled. Even if he's tired, he can be flat-footed, get it inside. Castle's good at getting the ball inside. Dylan Harper can get the ball inside. He's just camped out in the corner. He's been your most dependable, energetic spark plug guy, and you have him in the corner of the court for an entire half. They have the guys that can go in and say, all right, we're going to stop taking threes. We're going to force the issue at the cup, and they just stopped because it's hard to do, and they felt like they could coast.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow. I'm going to ask a stupid question. And I was thinking this throughout the second half last night. Why can't Wembanyama post up? I know we don't do the back-to-the-basket posting up anymore, but this guy is 7'5". Why can't he post up?
Why couldn't LeBron post up the first 5 years of his career? He had to suffer before he learned that, I need to be able to do that too.
I think it's just hard. It's hard to post up. Look, from banging down low constantly in my pickup game, I know that there are certain dudes that they don't want that. They get tired. That takes up a lot of energy, just someone leaning on you, putting a hip in you. You don't like it. It's hard to do. And he's flailing. And as for a guy whose cardio is coming to question, banging down low, that makes you more tired than running up and down the floor, I'm telling you.
The issue is also that he has no go-to move. Like, if you think of Wemby's bag, what is it? Being tall and getting an alley-oop thrown at him, hitting a three? He doesn't have a Tim Duncan back to the basket bank shot.
But what he did, though, the absurdity physically, okay, of what he did to get Mitchell Robinson that mad before he pointed to his head and before Mitchell Robinson hit him in the neck. There's never been a player long enough to sort of, around Mitchell Robinson, flip the ball with his arm into the basket because there's no way to block his length.
Create space, ass in. Ass in, turn around, you're 8 feet tall.
Exactly right.
Ass in.
Thank you.
Oh, wow.
Wu-Tang, first ever concert I went to.
That's a stunner.
16 years old. First ever concert.
If your offensive bag is let me be better and bigger and taller than everybody else, that's not an offensive bag. It looks like he's playing with 13-year-olds. He's just, let me put the ball up and then try to get my own rebound and then put it back up. Like playing with little kids, Dan. Like, come on, what is that? Get an offensive bag. Go out, meet Hakeem. Go talk to Kareem.
Did.
Go do something else.
He did.
Okay, well, he didn't learn the dream shake.
And the monks, too.
The monks.
Less monks, more Hakeem.
By the way, no offensive bag for the monks. They don't have an offensive bag. Go get one.
Put it on the poll. Do the monks have an offensive bag, yes or no? And also, pitch clock is going to be quite the tone change next hour.
We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow.
Coming up on Mystery Crate today, we are tiering Steven Spielberg movies. We are all getting assigned a World Cup team to do book report on.
Do we have to do the book report?
I don't think so.
I thought we were just going to watch the team.
How about we just do like one fun fact?
Okay, well, I like that. One fun fact.
But it better be fun, though. If you're going to play fun fact, you better come with a fun fact. Anyways, we got a lot coming up here today. Rose is doing her thing. Zaz has got an old-ass story. And Tony, we're just mystery crating the shit out of this episode. So you better check it out.
A Miami commissioner is weaponizing government against me. The future of the Port of Miami, which is Florida's fifth biggest economic driver, is in jeopardy thanks to the incompetence of Miami-Dade government. Or is it actually a long con? Plus, another episode in the never-ending series of Florida Democrats never miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity. All new because Miami.
Hello, chat. It's good to be with you here. Let's answer some of your questions. Alrighty. Ooh, bowling was great last night. Greg did consume, I would say, a little less than 9 beers. The over-under was set at 7.5. It was actually a slower night because we were watching the game. He wanted to get home for the game, so it was actually a slow intake night, I would say, for Greg Cody. The elevator bit is tough on me, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. Going down, not that difficult. Not too much shaking. Going up, different story. A lot of shaking, a lot of bumping into the table as I try to go up. I want to hold it so long that Dan just starts the show, and then maybe like a week later, I interrupt him with a DraftKings, the crown is yours. I'm going to do that bit one of these days. I'm a little inside scoop here for the chat. Be on the lookout in the coming weeks for me to just hold the silence so long that Dan continues the show. And then, like, the next day, I'll interrupt him with a DraftKings. So be on the lookout for that. My favorite wing flavor is the Mayong wing flavor. I don't know a lot of restaurants that do this. Billy's Tavern, my local wing spot near my house, does a Mayong flavored wing. And it's just delightful, Roy. I don't even know. Roy is making noises back here, so I'm kind of engaging with him. Yep. It's like a teriyaki based.
Yeah, teriyaki.
There's definitely some garlic. Yeah,
yeah,
it's
absolutely.
just maybe a little medium sauce in there, you think?
Yeah, probably a little mild in there. Yeah.
It's just as delightful a smorgasbord of wing sauce that you can have. Did I use smorgasbord right there, Roy? I think I did.
Probably not.
What else we got here? I am down the middle. I am truly down the middle in every aspect of my life. We have some left people around here. We have some right people around here. And then you see old Chris, down the middle Chris, just sitting there, just deciding, looking at both sides, looking to the right, looking to the left, and thinking to myself, I like it here in the middle. Next question. Can we see Chris without a hat? That's insane. Only appropriate questions here, please, people. Which landscaping company would I be working for if not for Dan? I would not be doing landscaping. I'd probably be a high school baseball. I'd probably be like a low-level math teacher in high school, teaching like the easiest version of math that you can take in high school. Low-level math teacher? But a great baseball coach. But like an elite baseball coach. Like I have taken this program to the next level. This program, mid-level baseball high school program, Chris here, next level. Best all-inclusive vacation spot? I'm a sandals man. I haven't done a lot of all-inclusives. Most of my all-inclusives have been at the beach, but I'm a sandals man. But it looks like we're going to come back here soon. So this riveting content is about to come to an end because I have to go pee-pee. So if Video Team is listening, we will go back to break right now.
want to wish a very hearty happy birthday, 943rd birthday to Dave Damashek.
And happy birthday to him. I don't care. Good luck.
But that's weird, right?
You guys are not going to believe what Dan did. He's buried the lead on this entire Knicks Spurs story from last night. We have a jinx situation, guys. I'm on a text exchange last night with Dan and Michelle Beadle, where midway through the second quarter, Dan tries to book Michelle on the show for today. And she saw what he was trying to do, and she goes, shh, too early. And then look what happened. Just gross by Dan. He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. It's a vet move by Dan.
That's a Knicks fan if I've ever seen one. Just
care to comment?
Yeah.
Just to be clear, you guys, otherwise reasonable, sane adults, believe that the reason we witnessed the greatest comeback in the history of the NBA Finals is because of a text sent from Miami to Los Angeles last night in the second quarter. Just to be clear on what you're alleging.
Didn't hurt.
Miami to LA, but about New York and San Antonio. So now it becomes a little bit more convoluted.
The jinx situation, because she believes that, fans believe that, and
you know what? I hate people that just the jinx isn't real. Who cares? If it's real to that person, respect it. I don't understand why anybody does that.
Jinx is real.
Yeah, I agree.
You think just one day someone decided, hey, this thing happened because I did this. I'm gonna let's call it jinx. No, jinx is a real thing.
Kind of like me in the national championship for the Hurricanes. Huh?
I'll never forgive you.
You don't think I was real?
What I believe is real is that I've done irreparable damage to my relationship with Michelle Beadle. That's what I think is real.
Yeah, I couldn't show what else she said after that because it was not pretty.
Team's won 5 championships. Get over it.
Spanish television is unbelievable. The guys have more work done on them than the ladies.
I've seen you guys distracted the entirety of the show today because you're just watching shimmering, shaking women who aren't wearing any fabric on their shoulders.
Linoleum foreheads. That's what I'm looking at right now.
This guy especially.
Smoother than a ski ramp.
Pitch Clock is going to be at the end of this hour with Jeremy Taché. I regret never getting yesterday to something that I promised people, which is Jeremy's observations about the show day before. Unfortunately, we will not have time for those ever. Not yesterday, not today, or ever.
We haven't mentioned Brendan Sorsby at all. That seems like it's getting crazier by the minute, and Texas Tech is not exactly covering themselves in glory here. And Zaz and I were talking before the show. Now that he has this ruling on his side and seeing the behavior, not just from Texas Tech, but all the other schools in the nation, I think it's less likely that Brendan Sorsby plays.
I do too.
Now than before when the ruling came down.
Yeah.
Like I think that this is a real inflection point for a sport that admittedly over the last few years seems like it's had a lot of those, but this is the one rule. This is the one line. Is this worth it? Texas Tech is about to become a pariah. Straight up, if Brett Yormark, the commissioner of the Big 12, had his way,
what do you say?
I think, well, I don't know what he said, but he had an all-hands meeting with all the other ADs in the Big 12 who are properly pissed. I imagine if you ask Brett Yormark, hey, what would you prefer here with the Sorsby thing? This is a mess.
I think you're right. I started to get that sense yesterday also that it seems as if Texas Tech is surprised at how big and nasty the reaction has been. They've already started to walk back the idea of allowing Sorsby to play themselves. Kirby Hocutt, the athletic director, he put out a whole statement yesterday which mentions how, okay, we'll allow him to play as long as he goes through the process and is in a place where he's okay enough to play. Like they're already starting to hedge a little bit the idea of allowing him to play.
Joey McGuire also didn't help matters yesterday. Here is some pretty...
this is crazy.
This is pretty jaw-dropping, what he does here to defend the whole Brendan Sorsby situation.
Brendan Sorsby is recovering from an addiction. He's recovering. Like, I've sat down with this young man multiple times, and the things that he is going through and what he's been through, is serious. As a society, we've been okay with other things that happens and allowing players to play, and this has been the one thing that has united people that we're against, you know. And it's crazy because it's not murder, it's not beating somebody, so there's a lot of things that we're working through.
Being somebody, he was thinking about saying rape, but then had the presence of mind to not say that, right? I think his whole attitude there is like, well, you know, Deshaun plays, right? So what's so bad about here? Yeah, no, this is the one thing that united everybody, because as horrible as murder and sexual assault is, the integrity of the game is not called into question. Your integrity as moral human people, absolutely called into question. We can feel icky about that, no doubt, but the games are played for people to believe that they are tried and true competitions and there's no funny business going on. Yeah, that's the one line. It seems pretty easy.
Chris, can you find for me, please, the origins of funny business and why people think the business is funny when it's decidedly not funny? Usually, public pressure does not work very often. The last time I remember this kind of consensus on something in sports that actually turned the tide on something was the Super League in Europe, where the pressure was such that they just bailed on an idea that would have been just commerce first, commerce first, commerce first.
And Michael Yormark.
This is the closest thing I've seen since to public pressure possibly working, but I still don't know what you guys think has changed. We'll get back to this and pitch clock in a second and talk about what's changed over the last couple of days that make you think differently about this. But the reason that we'll get back to this is because Raekwon is on with us, and Wu-Tang was in the middle, still in the middle of everything, one of the most authentic things in the history of music. Even at a Liars game, competitive Liars game, Wu-Tang is generally regarded as one of the most authentic things. And Raekwon, you're here to tell us that you brought Knicks basketball its greatest moment last night by simply performing in a way that changed everything, correct?
I guess so, man. I guess so. We just came in and was just a part of the excitement, man. I mean, you know, it was fun. Definitely fun.
What were the highlights for you, and were you like meth? You fled the arena at halftime because you didn't want to be around the crowd, or did you want to absorb everything that was happening in that crowd?
Oh, nah, we was still in the building. I mean, we didn't go anywhere. I mean, you know, it was just so much happening at the time, and, you know, just it's so many of us. So, you know, we was kind of shifting, letting some of the guys go back and touch the floor, some of us in the back chilling. But we was there, man. I mean, you know, when you think about the combative sportsmanship that we was dealing with, you know, as far as New York, it was tense in there, you know. At first it was, you know, getting a little stressful, and then, you know, we just had to have that faith, and that's what we kept.
What were the highlights for you in terms of interactions with people and moments from the night last night that'll stay with you?
Oh, nah, I guess when we came out and performed, you know, the Garden, you know, the officials in there, they told us, like, you know, it don't really be so crowded, and you know, when the half times happen, so, you know, it seemed like the crowd didn't go anywhere. You know, everybody stayed there and watched us perform, and, you know, that was definitely one of my highlights, is just to see that it was still so packed in there, and just, you know, just really just watching everything, just taking it in and really hoping that we get that win, you know, and it just happened, you know. The team, they, you know, they kind of remind me of us, like, you know, when we under pressure, we get busy, Dan, you know, and I think that's what they really realized they had to do. And defense was definitely something that was important, but we did it, man. So those are the highlights to me, just the resilience and coming back and spanking, you know?
Wu-Tang's got so many big hits, but you guys only had a certain amount of time out there. Like, how do you decide which songs to play?
Yo, that's always a big thing for us. You know, we go straight for the hits, the ones that we know that at the end of the day, the fans are familiar with. So, you know, when you hear the Wu-Tang Clan, ain't nothing to F with. You hear Cream, you know, those records right there, you know, get the crowd going and gets them up. So we definitely just went with the knockout punches right away.
I don't know if you're ever surprised about who's a fan of your music, but was there anyone last night from a star-studded affair that came up to you that you were like, huh, wouldn't have guessed that person's a Wu-Tang fan.
It was a couple of cats. I seen hanging out with Adam Sandler. Couple of guys though, but everybody loved the Wu, man. It doesn't despise me who may not know us though, but once they feel the energy, it's on, But it was so many people, man. I didn't get a chance to go check out my man John McEnroe. I'm a big tennis fan. I didn't get a chance to see him, but it was a few people in there. So many guys, so many.
Are you in any way surprised as I present to you Jonathan Zaslow, the look of Jonathan Zaslow? Are you in any way surprised that the first concert that this person ever went to was a Wu-Tang
I love Wu-Tang
concert?
Get out of here, John.
Yeah.
Word. That's what's up.
I was 16
That's
years
what's
old,
up, man.
1997. You guys were touring with Rage. First ever concert.
Yep. Oh man, yeah, definitely. Those were the days, man. Those was when we was young bucks, so man. So you happened to be there when it was, when we was getting big. Put it like that. You was there.
What do you regard as the most memorable of the folks that you did tour with, where you guys went on the road with somebody and it was the thing you still talk about today when you get together?
Definitely Rage Against the Machine was definitely one of those highlights in our careers. We were all coming up together at the same time, so I would definitely say them. Of course, some of my peers, Nas, De La Soul, guys that we, De La Soul, we pretty much, we they little brothers and all of that in the business. And a couple of cats, man, a couple of them, man, but I would definitely say them right there,
How does this work when you're performing? Because Hank Azaria was just telling us something that we were surprised by, which is there was a whole suite of celebrities from Aaron Judge to Jeremy Strong, Rainn Wilson, Hank, that they're in the worst seats in the house. What kind of seats do you get when you're performing?
I mean, they had us on the dance floor. We was on the dance floor, Dan, and I think all those great players, just being in the stadium to them was the best thing. So seats, like you said, it had to be literally probably like over 100 celebrities there. I seen everybody, and nobody seemed to worry about where they were at, It's like if you was in the back, you had the best seat though, but they had us on the dance floor, and it's so crazy because they had us literally right near the Spurs section. So, I literally could go over and probably just, get in one of their ears and say, yo, y'all losing tonight. That's how close we were. But it was emotional game though, man. Emotional.
Who is the Wu-Tang member most likely to actually say that to one of the Spurs?
Me. Me. I'm that guy that'll go and say it though. But like I said, Spurs is a great team, nothing against them. A bunch of young guys, really, really aggressive out there. But Knicks, man. And tell the Knicks, man, say, yo, man, Ray need a brand new black Rolls Royce Spectra at his house tomorrow. The energy we bought is like, I think they got it, man.
All right, so he's taking credit for the victory today, one of the great comebacks in the history of all of sports, not just basketball.
Absolutely.
Raekwon, nice seeing you. Thank you for stopping by. Enjoy the work, and always enjoy talking to you, sir.
You got it, Dan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking at here. The guest list, the celebrity guest list is open, the seating chart, and Raekwon, Ghostface, RZA, and Method Man, they were first row on the floor.
I love soccer.
Chris Cody's just been doing Chris Berman noises that entire interview. Chris Berman doing highlights is how I would describe the person to my left.
Yeah.
So those are the sounds you're making every time a bare shoulder ends up shimmying on the screen because Spanish television is the best. You give sort of a guttural mutter that comes somewhere from in your nether region and then meets and then meets your lips.
There's
and
an occasional Tim Allen from Home Improvement.
I have not seen that kind of look from you guys since Shakira was performing during one of there was You guys,
2020 halftime show, Dan,
I can
with
see-
J-Lo
I can
and
see-
Bad Bunny.
This is truly a game that brings us all together. It's just amazing.
I am not, after one of the great comebacks in the history of sports, getting the full undivided attention of people who work for Meadowlark and are paid for Meadowlark to give us their undivided attention these 3 hours because you guys are just staring at World Cups.
Part of my duties here at Meadowlark is to deliver morally abhorrent. I have to be locked in on all the soccer as well.
Even if it's morally abhorrent.
Even if it makes me feel morally abhorrent.
No Te Pido Flores is shaking right now in una celebración.
Her name is literally Fanny.
Mundial.
What the best sporting event on the planet, and it all kicks off in just a couple of hours. Hey, if you want to hear some breakdown of the U.S. men's national team match against Paraguay that is happening on Friday night, kickoff 9 p.m. That's late. We're not going to do a watch along, but we are going to be with you breakfast Saturday, 10 a.m. Eastern, live on our YouTube. I will have a live reaction show. Morally abhorrent. YouTube.com/Le Batard Show. If you can't catch it live, we'll chuck that in on the YouTube page and the podcast feed so you get an immediate reaction to the U.S. men's national team performance, a match that they need to take all 3 points on. Dan, it's a World Cup. You're going to be watching. Everybody is. But there is one little subplot here that goes beyond the game and goes beyond everything that's going on politically that I am most excited about. Zlatan is on the coverage. Zlatan Ibrahimovic will be making his U.S. media debut for Fox's coverage here, and I have a bold prediction. I think he's going to be a media superstar.
Oh, I have a bolder prediction. I believe he's going to replace Draymond Green on Inside the NBA.
Oh, wow.
And should.
Has there ever, and this is a media space that includes Shaq, who gives himself a new nickname every 10 minutes. Has there ever been a media personality that refers to himself in the third person as much as Zlatan will?
What's the over-under set for like his first broadcast? How many times he says his own name?
It's going to be hard to get in those spots, but I'm
2.5.
I'm putting the line at 2.5. That's a good line. It's a good line. Look at that right there.
I can't stop.
Oh, wow.
We are going to catch up with Juju here in a little bit, and we've also got Pitch Clock coming on later. But I want to show you guys something that I did last night as I talk about the single greatest comeback from yesterday. It was not the Knicks. Put that up on the screen so people can see what I texted Jeremy Teche and Mike Schur. So you see this situation here where the bases are loaded, 0 outs, ninth inning, and the Giants are down 10-7.
Put another circle on there.
You also see this situation as well. You see 5 runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning, and you see here 1 run. So you see the score, what the difference is. And so I sent to Jeremy Taché and Mike Schur this. I'm the only one watching baseball this way. I'm like, look out, watch what's coming here. And then 4 seconds later, I get to send them this screenshot 4 seconds later, which comes complete with enormous confetti because there has been a grand slam. And there it is, the single greatest upset in the history of sports. I'm trying to draw a penis, but it keeps giving me nuts. It
Cool
keeps,
Venn diagram.
It
Kind of did draw one.
It keeps giving me
Lot of balls.
testicles as I try to draw a penis. I cannot use it correctly.
Oh, wow.
That's right. It's Thursday Thunder. It's presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Juju.
Shabba. Man, Thursday Thunder hit goal last week. You dig me? And we going to replicate that action again tonight. First leg, I'm going with Queen Asia Wilson for over 10 rebounds tonight against the Fire. Next leg, Jonquel Jones is bringing her behind to Atlanta to play the Dream tonight. And damn it, she gonna get 8.5 rebounds. And the last leg, the bridge is over. The bridge is over. Booty bye-bye. Bridget Carlton. I'm going with my sister for under 13.5 points tonight against the Aces. Lock that in.
He won his last one, Zaz. He won his last one by betting against Cornette under 2.5 points.
We made fun of him for
and
that.
he went to the free throw line early in that game. I remember thinking that.
Wow.
First quarter. Yeah.
Juju, how about the revelation? We had Method Man and Raekwon on the show today. How about the revelation? My first ever concert, Wu-Tang. I get street cred, right?
Yes, sir. 100% street cred, 1,000%. And you get more street cred because you do the show every day with 2 Wu-Tang members, Jeremy Taché and Greg Cody, if you remember.
I was surprised by what Hank told us about that celebrity suite. Like, that's a little bit crazy. Even by the standards of New York and hottest ticket in town, when I tell you that group of people had to sit in a section that made it hard to see the players, that's surprising to you, is it not? No? Tony, you're shrugging your
There's
shoulders.
only so many places that people can go, right? People paid $50,000 for courtside seats. They're going to take that revenue over putting Jeremy Strong courtside.
They did spend a lot of money on putting a club section up there, and a lot of celebrities that there's only so many seats courtside. A lot of those celebrities. Did you see Sydney Sweeney and Scooter Braun were directly almost a
I didn't
couple
see
rows
Sydney
back.
Sweeney. Yeah.
Yeah, she was there.
Oh, I like her.
Yeah, but Scooter Braun,
she likes me
you know
too.
who she's dating? She's dating Scooter Braun. He was 5 rows behind Taylor
Oh, and is there a
Swift.
thing with him and Taylor Swift?
Yeah, a thing is one way to put it. You're lucky Jeremy isn't here.
I'm not all caught up on everything.
She made an album about him. Did she make songs about whatever the heartbreak was there?
I guess. I don't know.
Look at Dan.
She does that sometimes.
Good job, Dan.
Juju, last night, was that a choke by the Spurs, or do you go with the Knicks? Big win for the Knicks.
I think you got to see it as both. If you're a Knicks fan, you say, man, the Knicks are incredible. But if you're a Spurs fan, you know you choked it away. Also, too, I think OG Anunoby might be the best Knick ever right now. If they pull this off, I think he is the greatest Knick ever because that's the statue outside of the arena. That tip was not no regular tip. That was a tip with some arc on it. It had some spin on that guy. Pete Sampras through the sky. So, yeah, I think OG has moved himself into number 1 position, best Knick ever.
Zaz,
but
do you know historically if it was the same basket that Patrick Ewing missed the finger roll on?
It was, yes.
And because when that happened, if you want to erase all of what has hurt the Knicks over the last 30 years, that guy skying in from an impossible position. Zaz, I'm gonna keep saying it because I don't think it's something that's being paid enough attention to. It's not just that he had the tip. He had the tip, and he was further from the basketball when it left Jalen Brunson's hands than anybody but Brunson.
Okay, and also the possession right before it, he blocked Fox's shots. Like that whole sequence. You could make the case, I know Juju wants, he's the greatest Knick now. You could make the case that's the greatest sequence by an individual player possibly in Knicks history.
Well, put this on the poll. 100%. Is the Anunoby play the greatest play in Knicks history, period? Is it the biggest play in the history of the New York Knicks?
There's a 4-point play from Larry Johnson.
I think it just knocked it off. I think it did. Yes,
you're crazy.
Yes, I think it did.
No, this was only 2 points. That was 4.
Yeah, how many people, though? It seems like it was worth 5, though. It felt like it was worth 5,
Larry
not 4.
Johnson was in the house, and he's like, that's the best place.
Yes, Larry Johnson's like, I made one that was worth 4, but that one seems like it's worth 4.5 at least.
No. We're holding on to that trope forever. That is our cliche. There is no OG Anunoby.
No.
There is only Larry Johnson.
No, 30 years from now when I am doing this show, I'm going to say this is the best Knicks feeling since that Anunoby tip that was worth 4.5 points.
No.
Be quiet, me. Shut up.
Juju, where would you
OG
rank?
Anunoby.
Juju, where would you rank? Like if we were to do a ranking of all-time choke jobs, where does last night rank for you?
Bruh, it is pretty high because they made history. So, yeah, I got a top 5 chokes in sport history list right now for your mind.
Whoa, because this one's not going to rank higher. Well, I don't want to spoil his list, but when I think of games that felt last night.
You're going to spoil it.
The way that it felt last night, I'm guessing mine will be on Juju's list. Let's see how high mine is on Juju's list. Go ahead, Juju.
I don't know. OLI, the Cleveland Cavaliers choke away game 1 versus the Knicks. Very ass. Kenny Atkinson, still on my shit list. Number 5. Number 5, the Warriors blew the 3-1 lead against the Cavs. Choked it away. Number 4, the Falcons choked away the 28-3 lead against the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
That's mine. He's got 3 better than that. That was mine.
Yes, sir. Number 3, Bomani Jones chokes during the ad read. Number 2, Alexa Grasso chokes the hell out of Macy Barber. Holy.
Her eyes bugged out. She wants to win on herself.
Right.
You want to try that
and
again?
The number 1 choke ever.
Oh, wow.
The number 1 choke ever, man. The Spurs and Jordan had the flu game, but this was the woo game. Choked it away.
This is it. So we saw the greatest choke in the history of choking last night. That's what Juju is saying, for the record.
Mm-hmm. They Boston Celtics all over themselves last night.
Yeah,
Some of you did not watch the Champions League final between AC Milan and Liverpool many years ago, and it shows. There's a documentary. Go ahead and catch up on it.
It's a documentary being filmed courtside of this Knicks game last night. I don't know if you were aware.
Let's see what it is. It's going to be so great when Ben Stiller's documentary is them losing in 7. Can Juju update the polls? It felt like we had a ton of them today.
Yes, sir. Should setting screens be allowed in a pickup basketball game? 67% of the audience says yes, it should.
Oh, wow.
The other 40 some odd percent or 30 some odd percent have never played basketball before. Look at you. Hey, you can't. Hey, screening. You can't screen anybody. What, dork. Go do math.
Was it really strange seeing Larry David happy? 92% of the audience says yes, it was.
Oh, wow.
Did you see Larry David during Josh Hart's missed layup? My boy almost died.
Wait, we have that.
Boy.
Don't we have that?
Do.
Can
we have video of it.
Let's play the video of what it is that Juju's talking about there, because was Larry David on his hands and knees on the court?
He almost collapsed.
But he was just bent over.
He was not in a
correct?
Michael Irvin stance.
He was just, so he was just bent over, or what
Yeah,
was happening?
like he's standing like everybody else. Like his seats were at the basket where the Knicks were shooting in the second half, and Josh Hart has the wide open layup, and like he has to hold on to the guys who he's standing next to hold him up because he's going to fall. He almost passed out.
Okay, but he didn't fall to his knees. His knees just sort of gave. He was sort of
old.
Yeah, he's old. He's just old.
Collapse or comeback? 68% of the audience says collapse.
Oh, wow.
Did Charles Barkley go Spurs money line last night? 94% of the audience says yes, he did.
Oh, wow. Would anybody have any problem with that if I reported, or if Charles Barkley volunteered? Yeah, the reason I was so angry in my analysis is because I had bet on the Spurs. Like, would anyone even object to that? Because
I don't think it's just that. Like, if you like basketball, you're right to be triggered by that. That was a performance that would piss you off. If you're not a Knicks or Spurs fan and you're just watching basketball, what are you doing? This is dumb.
Right. Have you ever crossed your fingers hoping someone would get kidnapped? 57% of the audience says no, they have not.
Oh, wow. Was way too tight for my liking.
Do you feel guilty when you're enjoying Michael Jackson's music? 54% of the audience says nope.
anything.
Oh, wow.
I mean, that question is timeless.
When you think of Iman Shumpert, what jersey is he wearing? A Knicks jersey or a Cavs jersey? 57% of the audience says a Cavs jersey.
Oh, wow.
Just think of Tiana Taylor.
Right. Last poll, do the Monks have an offensive bag? 52% of the audience says yes, they do, and those are your polls.
Oh, wow.
Doing a show for non-ball knowers is insane,
Maybe they thought Malik Monk.
No, even Malik Monk. Not a big bag on him.
The Monk family? You think we were referring to the Monks as
Maybe someone was confused.
Hey, we're the Monks.
Baby.
The USA show.
It was Tony
Beatles
Shalhoub.
are litigious. We saw the dumbest basketball team in the history of civilization.
Oh, wow.
Can we keep your emotions together this week? I mean, that was not a good look for you, that BTS last week. Let's just try to keep our emotions in check.
How about you relax?
Remember, I care about you.
No, you don't.
This is all to help.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start the show.
Welcome to the Pitch Clock. Here's the pitch, a two-part baseball segment
combining a nostalgic baseball trivia game and an interview with an expert.
This is the Pitch Clock.
We're both wearing Florida Marlins stuff. It's the Pitch Clock.
Hi, everybody.
We're back. We have another trivia game to play.
Yes,
we don't
do.
have anything in front of us, which
No, you
means
don't.
it's something
You don't need anything in front
exciting.
of you. I've got everything I need right here. By the way, also wearing technically kind of Florida Marlins gear, my Lou Gehrig hat as well.
Yeah.
And ALS in support of Project Main Street and Boog Shambi's charitable efforts.
You're doing great on that.
Charitable.
Yeah.
Charitable?
Mm-hmm.
Charitable.
This talking thing's not that easy.
No, it's not the easiest.
We do it all day.
Are you guys ready for a really fun game today?
We are.
You see what's in front of me here? I recently ordered a complete set of Topps baseball cards from our favorite year of baseball ever, 2005.
Winner gets Jeremy's jacket.
You missed your opportunity.
Yeah.
This was one of the giveaways at a Marlins game if you got the right ticket package. Plenty of more awesome giveaways coming up at the ballpark where you can see your boy.
Wow.
I know.
So today, guys, we are going to be playing an edition of Who He Play For. So based on this set of cards, I have picked a stack of 40 cards.
White Sox.
All right. It's going to be 1st to 15. I really want to go rapid fire here. Okay. 1st to 15. You can steal. So if I ask Jeremy a question, Jeremy gets it wrong, Chris can take the point from me.
We're going to put 5 seconds on the pitch clock.
5 seconds on the pitch clock. We're going to go really fast
Here's the
because
pitch.
there are 40 here. So
nice, Jeremy.
It's going to be very simple. I'm going to read you a card. It will be based off of the team that he is...
That player plays for.
Correct.
Yeah.
On this card.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeremy, your first player, Tony Clark.
Padres.
No, incorrect. Chris Cody, would you like to steal?
D-backs.
Both incorrect.
Great.
Chris Cody, the next card goes to you.
Where was
he?
it?
Was a New York Yankee. Nick Johnson.
Nick Johnson, at that point in 03, he was
05.
with the, I know, I'm doing the math in my head. In 03, he was the Yankees.
1.
Nationals.
That's correct.
Yeah.
1 point for Chris Cody.
Thank you. Remember
Jeremy.
when I picked him for a walk game?
Remember, 5 seconds on the clock.
Oh, now the pitch clock is a real thing all of a sudden.
Current Cubs manager, Craig Counsell.
Brewers.
Incorrect. Chris Cody, would you like to steal?
D-backs.
Yes, that's correct. 2 points for Chris Cody.
What a D-back I am for getting that, huh?
Chris Cody?
Hey.
Austin Kearns.
Red?
That is correct.
Yeah.
3 points for Chris Cody.
I like you're throwing some
knew
in
it.
there.
I hate,
like-
man, there's a couple here.
Jeremy.
Yeah.
Chris Carpenter.
Cardinals.
There it is.
All right, so I like it. You better not give us... It's a little too easy.
Chris Cody. Ben Sheets.
Brewer?
That is correct.
Yeah.
4 points for Chris Cody.
The face he made.
All right. Jeremy. Shannon Stewart.
Twins.
That's correct.
Thank God you knew that because I didn't.
Casey Kochman.
Casey? Not Corey Klosky.
No, Casey Kochman.
Casey Can you spell out the last name?
Kotchman. Casey Kotchman.
Can you use it as a sentence?
Yeah, use it in a sentence.
Who
Country
did
of origin.
Who did Casey Kotchman play for in 2005? 5, 4.
Now
you're starting the
3.
clock?
I am going to say
2.
the team that Casey Kotchman played for was
Yeah.
the Brewers.
That is incorrect. Jeremy, would you like to steal?
The White Sox?
That is also incorrect.
What was
he
it?
played for the Angels.
Okay. And now he is back. You've missed him. He's been gone for too long. Adnan Virk is back with us. You can see him on MLB Network. You can read his book. And I want to dive with him right into the American League West. Because, Adnan, I don't think we have mentioned maybe one of these teams all year long. I feel like we have accidentally avoided the AL West, and it's an interesting division because you got the Mariners just a couple games over at the top of that division. You got Texas just after that. The Athletics, who have certainly been outperforming initial expectations. The Astros sitting at 6 under, and the Angels, of course, rounding things out. They're dreadful. But I want to highlight the Astros in particular, Adnan, because they missed the playoffs last year. They have all of these really strong players, and yet they're not performing well overall as a team as we're here, a couple weeks into June. Is this the year it finally ends for the Astros and they decide to be sellers at the deadline and kickstart a new rebuild?
I wish, but I don't think so. I mean, everything Astros and Dana Brown, they're like, no, we're going to hang around. We'll get to 5 foot. We'll make some moves. But I'm with you. They should be concerned. Here's the thing. Spencer Arrighetti has been fabulous for them. Going into yesterday's action, he won 8 of his 9 starts. The rest of the rotation, 22-36. He's got a sub-2 ERA, which is top 10 in baseball. The rest of the Astros starters, 5.39. Only the Rockies have a worse starters ERA this year than the Houston Astros. Think about that. Now, this is the reason why they're not going to sell, though. They'll say, well, Hunter Brown's coming back soon. He's projected to be in next week's series against the Tigers. Yordan Alvarez is an MVP frontrunner right now. He's got a triple crown category. He's leading the American League, 22 home runs, 48 RBIs, and his 316 average trails only Yandy Diaz. So they're going to look around and go, hey, Hunter Brown's coming back. Him and Arrighetti, formidable 1-2. Jordan. Payne is coming back. Jose Altuve will be back soon. He went 2 for 7 over the week after being out with an IL injury. So I'm with you, man. Eventually you go, hey, seriously, enough of the Astros. Can you just accept the fact you're not a good team? But no, I think that they'll try to hang around and realize that in a poor division, as you mentioned, maybe they can sneak in with a wild card because the American League in general, as we know, is very diluted.
Love a little Jordan. And Yordan Alvarez, I mean, for those who are not paying attention to him, he has been maybe the best hitter in all of baseball this year. The guy has been lights out since the day he came up in Houston, and he has only continued to produce. But let's talk about some other struggling teams in the American League. And if you look at the bottom 7, right? So there's the top 8, then there's the bottom 7 of that league. You see the Orioles. You see the Astros, who we just talked about. You see the Twins. You see the Red Sox, who we've talked about a little bit here. The Tigers, the Royals, and the Angels, respectively. Which of those teams, Adnan, and their we'll say struggles thus far this season, stands out the most to you?
Yeah, I mean, all those teams, you're right. Like KC, I'm not surprised they're bad. The Angels, by the way, they're the only Major League Baseball team to never lose 100 games in a season. As bad as they've been, as irrelevant as they've been, they've never lost 100. They're always, really? 90 loss season. Yeah, they're on pace to lose 102 games. So if you want history, maybe we'll see the Angels lose 100 games first time ever in their history. Only baseball team ever to do that. But I think for me, it's your Tigers. I'm stunned it's been this bad. I know Tarek Skubal is otherworldly. I know he's the best pitcher in baseball, but he's one guy. Like, you have other players, but they've completely fallen apart. Like, it's shocking how bad they've been. You would have thought in that division, even without Skubal, you can be a 500 team. But no, they're a legit bad team. They're going to trade Skubal. Once he comes back, you've got 9 or 10 starts before you can flip him. There's no reason to keep him. If you were going to keep him, you would have done so. He's going to get $350, $400 million in the open market. So I'm genuinely shocked because all along I thought, well, the only way they'll trade Skubal is if they're so bad. And they're not going to be that bad because they were a good team a year ago, playoff team, and they'll be that good again. They've been a massive disappointment, even when you take into account Skubal's injury.
Even with Jason Benetti sneaking in those Greg Cody catchphrases onto the broadcast, things have been a bit disappointing for the Tigers.
Jeremy, who did Jeff Kent play for in 2005?
Oh, remember, he played for a few
The
teams.
Giants.
That is incorrect. Chris Cody, would you like to steal?
See it. Now I know because you guessed.
Yeah?
The Dodgers.
That is also incorrect. He was an Astro.
The Mets.
Damn.
He was an Astro. Yes.
Astro?
Astro.
I was
Yes.
such
Chris
a
Cody.
condescending jerk there, and I was
Yeah,
wrong.
you were.
Pedro Martinez.
In 05.
Yes.
This has got to be towards the end.
Yep.
For Pedro.
Yep. 5,
Met.
4. That is correct. Chris Cody has 5.
Let's go! Everyone that's watching right now is like, oh, I thought it was Red Sox.
Jeremy. Mike Lieberthal.
Brewers.
Great name.
That is incorrect. Chris
Damn.
Cody.
I know where he is now.
Philly.
That is correct.
Yep.
6 points for Chris Cody.
Yeah, it sucks.
I love you going first, though. It helps.
Chris Cody.
Yeah.
Brad Ausmus.
Astros.
That is correct.
I just want to
That's
point
not
out.
true. You had a couple easy ones.
Right, and I got both of the easy ones.
Yeah, and then you got
I
them
just
wrong,
want
and
to
I got
point
your
out.
hard ones
I
right.
want to right. I want to, but I've eliminated one of the however
right.
many teams.
Chris Cody is doing fantastic
Yeah,
at this game. Let's be
I
very
would
clear.
have. Right. I just want to make it abundantly clear. I also know where Brad Ausmus plays baseball.
He's the kind of guy that makes excuses.
Yeah.
Jeremy. Chris Capuano.
This is easy.
Chris Capuano was a Brewer.
Clear.
That is correct.
Yeah. Now I'm in my head.
Chris Cody. Jason Bay.
Jason Bay would have left the Pirates for the Mets at this point.
That is incorrect.
Damn it! I just gave you the answer.
Jeremy,
Pirates.
That is correct. really stupid on your part.
That was
I mean,
crazy.
but
I
you
mean,
knew,
I
you
knew
would've
I was
known.
going Pirates. The only other
7-4
spot
is your score.
He eventually was a Red Sox,
Matt,
right?
he was a Blue Jay. He was a Red Sox.
Yeah.
He played for a few teams.
Okay.
But he got paid after.
But it was the Pirates.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Okay.
Jeremy. Nomar
This guy.
Garcia Parra.
Nomar played for the Cubs.
That is correct. Chris.
Ethan.
El Duque.
Can you say his full name, please?
Orlando Hernandez.
Yankee.
That is correct. Jeremy.
care.
Preston Wilson.
Don't go crazy here.
Hold on. Just relax.
Think about it.
Preston Wilson was a Met.
That is incorrect. Chris Cody. Would you like to steal?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
Rocky.
That is correct.
Damn it.
Wow, I didn't know if you would get that one, dude.
I just knew.
That's
I knew
really
it was
good.
Teams after
That's
so Jeremy helped me there
really
by
good,
Jeremy
dude.
getting
That's
it wrong.
really
Actually,
good.
That's what keeps
it
happening.
made it a lot
Really
easier.
strong. Really
Yeah,
strong.
yeah.
Chris Cody. Ryan Klesko.
You see, I'm not doing the same thing that he's doing to me, where I get it wrong and give him the help. But clearly wasn't a Brave at that point anymore. Was he a Padre before that? See, I'm so confident I'm going to win this. I'm just going to say a bunch of team names.
5.
I think Braves were
4.
first. Padres.
3. That is correct.
Thank you.
You have given him so much time to filibuster.
I've given you a lot of time too.
I have not filibustered
dude,
one time.
Since when does the
I
pitch
start. I
clock
let him
actually
start filibustering.
right before we started.
I let him start
that
filibustering,
this
and then I
time
start the pitch
the
clock.
pitch clock would matter.
You see this? You see what I deal with?
Let's stick with the conversation we were just having there, though, Adnan. I want to talk about Tarek Skubal because this is such a strange situation around him as he comes back to a team that's struggling. We know headed into this offseason what he anticipates. You also have the CBA stuff coming up. He was lights out in his first rehab performance and was kind of rumbling, bumbling, stumbling around the mound a little bit there. What do you make of Skubal and sort of everything as it sets up here? I know, you mentioned that he maybe could be on the move.
Yeah, I think in the past, the trade market's been diluted because the good news is with more wildcard teams, there's more excitement around teams and their fan base later into the season. The bad news is in the past, you only had, let's say with one wild card, 8 teams making the playoffs, so a lot more sellers and a lot more buyers. Now, the last couple of years, you've seen teams around 500 going, hey, you know what, 5-game win streak, we're right back in this thing. And then foolishly, the Angels were buyers the one year because it was Ohtani's last season. It didn't work out, quickly fell apart. So all along to me, I said, oh, man, it's too bad the Tigers are going to be good because there's going to be no juice on the trade deadline. Not to be the case now. Now that they realize the Tigers are a bad team and they're not going to re-sign Skubal, this means this trade deadline is going to be unbelievable. And I would think, Jeremy, if I'm a team out there that wants Tarek Skubal, just make the offer now. Like, don't wait till July 31st. For God's sakes, you'll get an extra month of Tarek Skubal. They got to trade him now. June 9th, let him pitch 1 or 2 times, and then he's on the market. You'll get 9 starts at Tarek Skubal wherever it could be. So he's definitely being traded. I mean, 100% with certainty, I would say that. If they're going to re-sign him, they would have re-signed him. And look at the usual suspects, right? Is it Dodgers? Is it Yankees? Is it Cubs? Is it whomever it's going to be? Skubal is going to go somewhere and make a massive impact in the playoff race.
You know what? And this is talking to my producers in the other room as well. Marlins should just trade for Skubal because then if it doesn't work over the next month and a half, they can just flip him again at the deadline. That'd be really fun. Just revamp everything. This isn't going to happen. It's a fluky thing that I'm talking about. All right. So now I want to get to our star of the week because as we get toward the All-Star game, I think I'm going to start doing a little bit of this pitting positions against each other in the guys worth highlighting. I want to talk about a couple of National League outfielders here and have you specifically highlight one of them, Adnan. James Wood of the Nationals, Jordan Walker of the Cardinals. These guys have been spectacular thus far all season. Who are you highlighting as our Golden Era star of the week?
Yeah, both those guys have been good stories, Jeremy. I mean, St. Louis in general, their starting pitching still doesn't impress me, which is why I think eventually they'll fade. But Jordan Walker, just a quick thought on him. This guy, it feels like he's been in the league for 5 years, but 2023 was his rookie season. So much was expected of him, and he struggled for a few years, but like he's still a young kid. He's only like 24, but he's had an awesome year, particularly the average and home runs. I'm thrilled he should be an all-star. But I want to talk about James Wood. Like, it's not long before this guy's going to be one of the best players in baseball. Going into yesterday's action, 4 homers, 12 runs scored, a 10.58 OPS for his last 12 games. And who would have thought the number one offense in baseball is the Washington Nationals?
It's
like
crazy.
That is absolutely staggering to me that James Wood and C.J. Abrams, the rest of this offense, they've scored more runs than anybody else in baseball. Braves, Dodgers, Phillies, Yankees, all those teams are expecting. So James Wood, to me, is a future superstar. This guy could be Juan Soto-esque, and people best be paying attention because he's an all-star for years to come for the Nats.
You say future superstar. I think that superstardom's already arrived. This guy is a stud. And I remember the day he came up, watching him at the plate going, oh my goodness, they've got another one, because he is that good. You know who else is that good? Adnan Virk. And the next time you're here, Adnan, we will be talking with you about whether or not Scooble's out the door, whether or not the Astros have turned things around, and whether or not both players we just talked about are going to be all-star starters in the National League. Adnan Virk, go buy his book. Go watch him on MLB Network. Thank you very much for being here, Adnan.
Jeremy, always fun. And just so you know, I'm stumping as hard as I can for Liam Hicks for the All-Star game.
Yes.
If not, Otto Lopez, top 5 in batting average.
Xavier Edwards, come on, give me 3.
But, you know, I care more about the Canadians and the Marlins, so we'll do what we can to get those guys in. Let's see.
That's fair. Enjoy that Paul Skeens, Max Meyer matchup on Sunday. That's going to be a fun one in Pittsburgh.
I'm glad you mentioned. When I was looking at the Peacock schedule, I said, who do we got? They go Marlins, Pirates. I go, I go, what's the pitching matchup? Hopefully we get Skeens. They go, dude, it's Meyer versus Skeens. I go, oh, my God. I cannot wait to do, obviously, Sunday stretch after that game on Peacock. Thank you for mentioning it.
Thank you for mentioning Peacock. Adnan Virk, you're the man.
One-time home run derby participant, Brandon Inge.
Tigers.
That's correct.
I mean, you're so easy, these ones he's giving.
Chris Cody.
Sound like
8-6, right? 9-6?
10-6. Chris Cody, you're up.
Yeah.
Juan Uribe.
White Sox.
That is correct.
Oh, man. I'm just on
4 points away now.
You're like, oh, you would
You
think
are on
Giants,
fire.
but no, I'm smart.
Jeremy. This man famously lied to Congress. Rafael Palmeiro.
Baltimore Orioles.
That is correct.
I thought you wanted to say Rangers.
No, I'm smart.
Chris Cody.
Hey.
This name is going to fire Lewis up. I can hear him already. Chad Tracy.
Chad Tracy. Wow, he played for a bunch of teams.
5.
Diamondback.
That is correct. Dude, you are on fire.
Your 5 keeps
This
starting
is
5 seconds.
unbelievable,
after
dude.
Oh,
it's
stop
started.
it.
Jeremy.
I'm in my bag right now.
Krista Norfia.
Oh, Jesus.
Krista Norfio. Yeah, because Krista Norfio.
Yeah, guess.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Rangers.
That is incorrect. Chris Cody.
Out of pity, I just won't guess here.
Okay.
Out of pity.
Who do you think? I'm not going to count it, but who do you think?
Orioles.
Here? That is incorrect.
It's a
He was
total
Red.
random guess, too. Yeah, I had
He
no
was Red.
idea where he played.
Yeah.
Chris Cody. Marco Scudero.
Oh. Oakland A.
Yes. Nice job, dude.
Picturing him with, like, in the movie Moneyball. Like, wasn't he on that team around
Do you
that
think
time?
saying Oakland A is as bad as saying the other Cleveland team, since that also doesn't exist?
Yeah.
No.
You've been
not
canceled.
quite. Jeremy.
You said it.
Kevin Millwood.
Brewers.
That is incorrect. Chris Cody, would you like to steal?
I'm trying to help the guy, but Rangers.
Nope. Also incorrect. He was a Cleveland baseball player at this time. Yep.
Okay.
You won't say it.
No, I won't.
Yeah, good for you.
Chris Cody. Chris Cody.
Yeah.
JT Snow.
Hate you.
Giant.
That is correct.
The amount
Chris
of,
Cody
like,
is one away.
The amount
of awesomeness I'm exuding. I know.
Jeremy Taché. Marquise Grissom.
Oh, come on, it's easy.
Giant.
That is also correct. Chris Cody.
What's up?
This is for the win. Jeff Suppan.
Oh.
5, 4.
What was that noise? It's either Giant or Cardinal. I'll
laughing.
go with Cardinal.
Chris Cody, you were this week's winner on the pitch clock.
I'm so upset because when you said it's either Giant or Cardinal, I was like, all right, I know it's the other one. Whoever he gets.
15-8 is the final score. Chris Cody.
Chris, great game.
You want to shake my hand?
Yeah, I'm shaking your hand. Hey, good job.
So I get the jacket?
No.